inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
All right, we're here on a beautiful Friday. You can see the background of the True 669. Beautiful sun, beautiful.
Yeah, where's she at? That's nice.
I
That's
know.
nice.
Doesn't it look nice?
Fuck yeah.
And then Bob's in my backyard. He's got to quarantine for what? How many more days? Like 4 more days before I allow you to get off my. Oh, there's the veil.
I don't know.
All right, we got the medium in, and hopefully, Silly Fan Man jumps on because we got to find out about his attachment ghost. Before he starts, let's just start right into it. Now, Bill. Now, technically, what is an attachment ghost to a person in the first place? What is that even about in the first place?
An attachment is pretty much like anything. I mean, if a person likes you, then they attach themselves to you. It's the same way with the spirit. If you're in a mall, or if you buy something, or a lost loved one, or something that's, still stayed to this realm of this earth, likes you, then they attach themselves to you for your energy, your great personality, or whatever you have. So they actually attach themselves to you.
Like a cat.
Yeah, Silly Fan Man says he'll be here soon, so he'll be here in a second. Now, you said if they like you, they can attach themselves to you, and you had the ability to notice it before, like most people did. Like, you noticed it yesterday before we all did, and then when I went back and saw the video, you're 100% correct with the picture. You saw like the fuzziness in front of the hat, That was awesome. And then when you watch the film, if you actually watched the film yesterday at 1 hour and like 40 seconds, the screen kind of went from light to dark and then back to light.
Yeah, it had little glitches in it.
Yeah.
Glitched it. Yeah, I was watching it glitch. I go, it glitched again. It keeps glitching. I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. That's weird.
I'm shutting this real quick. So, like right now, you got myself, you got True Seeker.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Jen, just to let you know. And Bob, like, do you see an attachment on us, or is it like it just?
No, I don't see an attachment. I do see that Jen has a different color aura than you and Bob do, which
she is better looking than us. So I mean, it's
by far.
Have a different aura.
Yeah, she's got a blue color to her. I mean, everybody's got that faded aura around them. But she does have a more peaceful spirit or aura around her. So
what does blue mean?
Blue means it's pretty much a peaceful thing. I mean, if you think of the color blue, you think of trying to think of the words here. Okay, I'm half asleep. Hard to explain. Like I said, it's peaceful. I mean, if you think like the blue and the oceans, and you just have that escape personality about yourself.
There you go.
What color do I have?
Yours is white. Actually, you're just.
I am Aquarius, and that's a water air sign. So.
There you go. You're blue.
So is white a good thing, or is that a bad thing?
It's good. You don't have any black or red, so you're all right.
What about that crazy son of a bitch down there calling himself the sheriff?
I just put it I'm red. I'm glowing red.
So let's get this straight. So True Seeker's blue. She's got a beautiful spirit, not a spirit, but she's got a beautiful aura around her. Silly Fan has an entity or whatever on him. And me, Bob, we're just white.
Yeah,
just white
guys. You're white.
White guys.
Now you said if they like you, they can attach yourself. Can there actually be a bad one that doesn't like you and still attach yourself?
Oh yeah, negative spirits, especially like people that are in like depression, or maybe they're I really don't want to say it, but they're into like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. They have that negative energy about them. So a negative spirit can come to them because they're negative, and they can attach themselves to you and make you more negative than what you are. But you have something about you that negative energy likes. So it will
Oh, yeah.
attack.
Well, we have another medium in the chat name. Zal Moxa says Bob is yellow.
Bob's yellow. I see a lot. I see white around Bob.
That means am I power? I'm not. Yeah.
Hey, maybe there needs to be some sun, Bob. You've been quarantined way too long.
I know. It's sunny here, though. She can be corrected. It's sunny. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Thank
I saw an object. I saw a UFO, though. I saw a UFO. I saw one. Now, remember, I'm a bunk. I'm from Science World. He's in the flight. I don't fucking believe in that shit. However, I'm sitting here eating eggs. Eric brought me down eggs and toast with meat in it. So I'm like just eating, and I'm looking up. There's a white.
I do feed them sometimes.
Yeah, like a white cylinder. I'm not fucking around. A white line cylinder in the sky, and I know airplane flights. I know how they kind of go. This thing looks like something in a video machine, like a white line going across in a video machine. So perfect, so symmetrically perfect. I'm like, that ain't real. That ain't real. Right behind the tree line, just a white line, like in a video game, just going across. No wings, no body structure, but a white tube. Serious, guys. As white can be, like bright white, like in the bright blue, weird off-colored blue sky. A white line just going across the sky.
I've been told not to feed you after midnight.
My cat just caught a mouse.
Oh, cool.
My cat's out here with me.
Wish I was outside raining.
My cat just caught a mouse.
You know that stupid neighbor cat that every time it comes over, it always like catches
cat's
it
running around behind
and puts it right outside my back door. Like, here's my prize. I got you a dead bird or dead cat rat. Oh, there is the cat.
A black cat.
A black cat. Yep.
Whoa.
They bring you presents because they want to gift
He's got
you.
a mouse in his mouth.
His mouth.
Oh, it's a gift. Like she was saying, Will was saying it was a gift. They do that.
Does animals actually have an aura? Can you actually see an aura in an animal?
He brings home baby bunny rabbits, chipmunks. I had a chipmunk crawling up my curtain one day trying to get away from him. I get chameleons.
So she just captures and lets go. She's a capture release cat. That's a cool cat.
Look what I did.
A little
Yeah,
boy.
capture release cat. Like when you go fishing,
Maybe
you
I'll
capture
dip out and
release.
come back.
At least she's got a capture release cat.
Now, before Silly Fan Man
Wait a
jumps on,
Oh,
now tell us the truth about his attachment. What is that attachment doing to him?
Actually, really, I couldn't see that. I just, there for that short minute. I mean, like I said, with his aura, there was a dark blotch in his aura. That's why I told him. I said, you have an attachment. And, I could really, depict, from where I am. Easily, like I said before in the last stream I have to be close to somebody, but I could see it. So I knew he had something attached to him. Know where he got it. I don't know. Could be a hat that he bought or something.
No, we got to scare the shit out of him. We got to say something more negative.
well, he said it was good karma. He said he felt it good. He didn't feel bad. He felt it good. So that's kind of cool. I mean, at least it was good. Could have been worse. Oh, we lost the. She went after the cat.
That was weird. Something.
We're having anomalies again. We had anomalies yesterday, man.
Yeah, it put True Seeker in the background where I had to re-click it again. It did that yesterday too.
With mine,
talk about ghosts and stuff. Something happens.
Mine enough. Yeah, she got stuck, man. She's off. Shit.
Yeah, it's just a black screen. But don't worry, she'll be back. We'll get that fixed. And like I said, Sunny Fan Man's gonna be jumping on. Here we go. She says, "I'm coming back," and everything was glitching back. So So we'll get it. So does it kind of drive you crazy in a way where you could just be walking and you start seeing attachments on people? I mean, is that like a curse in a weird way for you?
I see it every day, just like I see spirits every day. And the only way I look at it, a lot of people think I'm nuts or I'm crazy because everybody don't believe in that kind of stuff. And I'm afraid sometimes to go up to people and say, you got a problem. So either sometimes I keep it in or I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and tell them. What the hey?
Someone had a thing about elementals, the elemental attachments.
Elemental attachment looks like slugs or squid. It sounds weird, I know. The life I live. Certain types of attachments like to instigate problems and drama in people's lives.
Yeah, all attachments do. I mean, elemental or spiritual attachments. Yeah, whenever they attach to you for a reason, and they'll amplify that reason that they like.
I think we got the truth seeker back. Let's see. Yep, we got her back. It must be. I think she has an attachment that's causing her to have issues.
You have an attachment. You have an attachment. You have a cat.
Yeah. True seeker. You didn't hear, man. She said you have a bad attachment that took to you right now.
It's the cat, man, eating the mouse behind you.
Yes. Oh, there's the cat right behind you.
Forest fairies. They're fucking with my stuff.
Oh,
there we go.
With it.
There he is. Silly fan man. Oh man, dude, if you weren't listening, I feel bad for you about your attachment.
Yeah, he likes to play with his food before he eats it.
Good cat. Gets the heart pumping. Gets the adrenaline taste in its mouth. Cat, man.
Oh, silly fan man, can you hear us?
Kind of, sort of. I'm trying for some reason. You there?
He looks like he's had a campfire.
You're in a dark realm in that room of yours.
Let me see if I can turn the light on with just my spirit.
Yeah, you need a clapper. Is the clapper still exist in our timeline, or does that go away? Do we still have that? The sun, come sun, off sun.
Okay. Well, silly fan may. Oh, I think he's putting on his headphones.
Clap off.
Clap on.
If you put the right one in the right ear, right? Thank God they have letters on them.
Looks like we got Brian Staveley in the chat. That's cool.
He's always freaking guys everywhere.
Now, can you hear us pretty good, Silly?
Brian's changed. He's become Californian now.
Silly fan man, this question is for you, man. So since you learned, you haven't. Now, first of all, if you already watched a video yesterday, you're missing out. We actually have on live footage that we saw an attachment ghost that was hooked up to the Silly fan man live on air.
It was over here.
Yep. So since you learned, you have an attachment.
Wait. I got a question first. Does she still today? Because I didn't see it yesterday until I went back and watched the thing. So lifting the veil.
Yeah, it was on your show.
Hello?
It looked like
someone there.
Yeah, it's True Seeker. She's glitching.
We're glitching.
So Val, the question is, do you see the attachment on him right now as we speak?
It was over here yesterday, right? It was over there.
It was kind of like in your hat area.
Yeah. It was like right around here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it was freaky. I saw it on the I saw something, okay? There was just like dark areas and light areas, and it looked like faces moving around. To me, it looked almost like multiple, and it looked like it was, if I can point, there was like almost lines coming out of here, almost like something was coming out of the ceiling area the ceiling fan area. I put on a different hat today in case you said it was attached to this hat. I still have that one here though. You see anything on the hat?
Put that hat back on.
Put it on.
Put it on.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
Huh?
Is it back?
It's the hat.
Nothing? Oh, it's there?
It's the hat.
Wait, you still see it?
Yeah. Put the other hat back on. See, it's gone.
Well, you keep it off there. You don't want it on you.
So it's in here?
It's attached to the hat. Where you get that hat from a resale shop?
Honestly, I have to ask my wife. We might have got
Brian, hold on. Brian Stavely says you're still ugly.
Yeah,
I love how everything's switched around. Like, he was the first person that kind of got me into this, and now he's my troll. I love it. Get a life, Brian.
So did you buy the hat from a second-hand store? Or
let me find. Hang on, I'll check. You guys discuss amongst yourselves about Brian's balls, and I'll be right back.
Well, we don't have Rocha for that. We need Rocha for his ball check.
So an attachment can actually attach itself to an item, not necessarily the person, huh?
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Because just like, with me, sometimes I don't like going to antique stores for one. And I could pick up like shoes or a watch or something, and I could visually see who that item belonged to, or I could feel that energy in the object. So yeah, things can attach. I mean, just like your favorite thing might be the hat you're wearing, and then you pass on and someone else gets your hat. You're like, hey dude, you're wearing my hat. So
yeah, well, the one I have is my dead gay brother's hat. It's Mike's hat, huh? My dead gay brother had this hat, and then he didn't mold it. I molded it, but he was like, he did. And Eric's like, here, take some of his stuff. You want some of his wigs? I go, I don't want his wigs, man. I don't need his wigs. And Eric's got dresses. I ain't wearing no dresses, man. We got something else. I mean, in a respectful way, he just passed away. We weren't like that, but I was like, well, you got something else a little bit cooler. So they gave me the hat, so I got the hat. I molded it myself, but I don't know if he's attached to the hat or not. I don't see him. I don't see a transsexual walking around.
There was a small town in Mexico. We went to Cabo for like the first time ever. I think it was a year ago. Mm-hmm. And that's where we got the hat. I got the hat.
Cabo, Mexico. Yeah. Maybe it's attached to like a drug lord, dude.
It might be Pablo's.
Pablo Picasso. It's Pablo's hat.
So you still see? I don't see anything like the other day. Do you see stuff on it, or is it only when I put it on my head?
I see it whenever you hold it up. Yeah. Okay. Look there at the top of your fingers. You guys see at the top of his fingers?
Right here.
There's a gray mist that comes from the hat. I mean, I can see it.
Oh yeah. Keep your finger there.
It's not a shadow. It's
here.
Yeah, there's a gray mist that actually comes off the hat.
I'm lost. I can't see. Eric sees it though.
Well, it's like how you look far from a like on a road and you see like that smoke, not smoke, but
like energy, like heat and energy.
Yes,
I see.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing.
Huh. This is fascinating television, isn't it?
So every time you're gonna pick up that hat, you're gonna like think about it. Now you don't get no negative feeling.
What about my slipper? You see anything there?
That's a negative.
Yeah, and don't pull up your underwear, please don't. I don't want to see Toy Rucker's aura there.
Yeah, we're not on the Brian Stavely show. There's going to be no dancing here. Hey, Jen, good to see you. Good to talk to you in real time.
She's back inside.
Oh, she's not there. Oh, okay.
It's
I thought I saw her.
Yeah, I think the ghosts don't like her.
The ghost of Jen. There she is.
She had what I had yesterday. She had exactly what I had yesterday. It's the same problem.
Yeah, only she's prettier.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her that. I'm not gonna argue that.
Rose, you are invited over here. My wife says she will make it so you can. There's
my computer's
term, but you can go anywhere. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I got a ghost in my computer today. I'm gonna have to restart.
It probably came out of my hat.
It came out of something, I'll tell you that.
So, there's really something attached to this. That's so bizarre to me. You know, I've experienced this once before. My dad, he collected old pocket watches and old clocks.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have a whatever you want to call it, a ghost, spirit, something through the veil we could see. But you could see him. You couldn't look at him and see him. But if you're looking this way, your peripheral vision, you could see it perfectly. And it was a guy. He was fairly tall, and he was in like a suit or outfit from like the 1800s. And he had one of those stove-type hats like, you know, Abraham Lincoln supposedly wore. And he would walk this one hallway. But if you look there, he wasn't there. And every member of my family saw him, but no one said anything because we didn't want each other to think we're crazy. And every once in a while, my dog would just look up down that hallway too. And so then one time we were having a big party. I think it was Thanksgiving, and my aunt was over, and she just suddenly said out loud, "Oh my God, I just thought I saw someone in the hallway." And then everyone's story all came out at once because we'd all seen it, but we never talked about it. And so we started trying to figure out it was either attached to there was a specific pocket watch, or my dad had this like 100-year-old grandfather clock, and it even had like mercury in the pendulum, which I think you can't get anymore. And so we're just assuming, because I don't know how any of this works, because he wasn't in the house before we were there. Because I actually found the people before that and asked, they thought I was crazy, of course. And then can you imagine if they heard what I talk about now? And then so he was there when we were there. And then here's the fascinating thing. When my parents moved from that house, he ended up in a hallway in their new house. So I know whatever it is, they still have it with them. But just like whatever you saw yesterday, there's no, I mean, the guy never did anything. We never felt any evilness to it. He just kind of was like walking the hall. Maybe he's checking his pocket. I don't know what he was doing. Wow. But since I've found my spirituality, we did have some issues in this house years ago. It's all gone. Like, it's crazy gone. I can't even believe how to explain the feeling. It's just
good for you.
Whatever is in here with me, it's not allowed in here unless it's positive. And I know that all sounds nuts, but then again, we're on a show with these two guys, so you know.
That's how I roll my shit. Since I've left England, the place I stayed at, I already told you guys it was haunted. It was haunted like a motherfucker. It was haunted. And I lived in that place for a long time. Now, since I've been here, I haven't felt it. No leg scratches, no freaky female nightmare shit, no nothing like that.
You had that? We had that too. You wake up and you look like something was trying to, like that movie I never saw, Drag You to Hell. It looked like someone was grabbing on my leg because there was like scratches.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and I had a couple of my kids. This was years back. We first moved here. There was all kinds of shit going on in this house. And a couple of my kids experienced that like night terror where they're held down, and it was by a girl. And one of them, it was like they were being held underwater, and they were able to get out of it. But whenever I had one of those, not anymore, but back then, I watched this one video where these guys are coming down on a plane crash, and they're like coming back from some, like where they were trying to teach the teachings of Christ or something somewhere. And the plane was crashing, and the pastor just starts getting up and yelling, in the name of Jesus, and however it happens, the plane crashes and everyone survives and nobody even got hurt. And so I was like, wow, this is even before I was in my spiritual path. So when something like that happened, I said, what do you got to lose? Like, even in your head, if you're sleeping, you go, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, or whatever you want to say, in the name of Christ or the Creator. And it stopped. And I was like, okay, there's something to this, because now I've seen this video. It actually happened for me. And then a few other things people have talked about. So I think that's a real thing. But then again, I'm just some idiot in his house not knowing what he's talking about.
I go bonk, and I know it is. I've got tapped on the shoulder, like double tap. And then I've asked one of the flatmates, I go, I'm going to ask you something silly. I mean, this is how you approach somebody when you say, I'm going to ask you something silly, okay? Have you ever had a tapping on your shoulder and the person said, yeah, I have. I've had a tap. Before you say you've had it, can you just show me specifically exactly where you got the tap? The person pointed to the same exact spot. I said, what did it feel like? Now, did it feel like, can you count one? Because it did a double tap. I said, did you feel two, or did you just feel two fingers? Give me a description. So I had to drill this person. It's the same description. Like 2 fingernails, not 2 fingertips, but 2 fingernails. You can identify it with a double tap. I said, holy fuck, I had the same thing.
Is it always on your right shoulder?
on the right shoulder in the same spot. And it's the same shoulder that always hurt. Now, my shoulder has not hurt since I've been to Eric's. It has completely stopped hurting. The shoulder.
See, that's the thing. My right shoulder, just in the last month, like whenever we talk about something spiritual or I feel something like really positive or something going on, this whole area just starts tingling. You know how we get that ringing into the ear? Now this, I can actually turn this on and off. When I start to feel it, I can increase it or I can lower it. I know that, again, all this sounds nuts. And hopefully if you guys, but that's what I like, the ringing in the ear. Here's what I think. You ever turn the dial on a radio trying to get to your station, you know, the ringing in our ear, I believe now, whoever we are, we've opened our minds up to hearing the other world, whatever that could be. And I think that's them talking. Like I was going to do a whole video, but I just don't have time anymore. Like, remember there was a Star Trek episode where the people were like advanced supposedly, and they could move so fast that they sounded just like a bug until you got into their world, and then you could see everyone else just moving like really slow. So I kind of feel like this ringing that they say is tinnitus, which isn't.
That's funny.
It's the voices in this other realm talking. Only we don't know what they're saying. We just hear. But if we can figure out how to fine tune our radio or headsets, I think we'd be able to hear what they're saying.
Synchronicity, man. I got a synchronicity with you. That's what I was thinking when I had the double tap. It was so fast, yet my brain picked it up as 2 taps, but it was fast. And I asked this other person, and they described it to me like, well, I know it's 2, but it was so fast. Like, okay, you're describing everything that's in my fucking head right now. Like, we're not empathing right now. You're just describing exactly what happened to me. It's like 2 little nails, but they were so fast. And I kept thinking to myself, now, are we just chilling, moving our own rate, whatever, and then and something else is moving so fast that we can't see it, and it's making these weird corrections. It sounds like a damn movie, like the movies we watch, like that Dark World or whatever, making the corrections in front of us, like redirecting somebody in front of you, causing that person to fall down right there at that one time when you're walking up the road, like almost predicting where you're going to go by the way you're moving in a direction, knowing you're going to go that direction. They're going to put something in front of you. A shopping cart, I call it. The shopping cart stops right there in the hallway. You're like, what the hell? You got to walk around it, and another one stops you. Hey.
and you know what? Whatever this is, they obviously it's across the entire plane or whatever we live on, and they're using it. You know, there's the evil people. They have a way of manipulating the sound waves. I mean, they've even had articles about how they do it out in this area in Seattle. And so I believe yesterday they were doing something, because I don't know how you all felt, but myself and my wife, there was just like, I heard someone, I think Robin was discussing it on his show this morning. There was like almost like a gut punch yesterday. And I was not, I mean, I got off with you guys and I had a great time. And then probably several hours later, all that energy just got sucked out. And I was just almost, I don't want to say depressed, but it was just that feeling of this like almost doom kind of thing. I was like, where's this coming from? Because I was doing so great. So I do believe that these waves can be manipulated, because since we're all energy and it affects us, they know how to tweak it.
Exactly.
They know it. We don't. You know, we're just trying to figure it out.
Well, what I'm hearing is, because you're on our show, you got good vibes. See? We're the cure, Bob.
Yes.
We're the cure. We help people. Jen, have you had experiences at your house?
Yeah, how'd everyone feel yesterday after the show?
I felt good. I had to take a little nap.
I did a nap.
I actually slept from like 4:30 till 7:30 yesterday.
A long nap, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just laid down and I was just
wake up.
out of it.
Yeah,
In a way, your energy was drawn out too, because you had to go take a nap to recharge. My wife did that too. See,
I had a lot of stuff that went on yesterday, so I can't really say that what kind of energy I had. Bob knows what I'm talking about. There's been some issues that I had to deal with. So,
spontaneous party happened.
Let's just say the funnest day yesterday was the show. Everything else kind of like
absolutely. Yeah.
It was my fault, guys. It was my fault. I was doing an outside show the other night, Wednesday night. I was doing an outside show, and
I remember that one.
all came outside, and they all circled around, and they're all sitting like this, smoking their dab, drinking. And I'm like, am I putting on a show for all the fucking teens in this area? I mean, literally, they're sitting here watching me like a storyteller. I was like, I can't even finish my shit. They're all staring at me. And I'm like, okay, this is bad, man. Then I eventually just had a couple of shots or whatever. I said, I'm going to bed, guys. We need to call it, man, because the neighbors are going to get pissed off. It's after 11. Eric already called it. Gypsy said we got to go. Nobody will party during the weeknight. I went to bed. It turns out that they stayed up the entire night. And Eric kind of comes out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question for Through the Veil. I was wondering if you had ever heard of these sort of dark spirits that hang out over doorways, waiting for somebody to walk through a doorway. And if they're like kind of have a low vibration, they dip down into them or they attach to them through their crown chakras. Have you ever heard of these like kind of dark spirits?
I heard about that in front of bars a lot too, Jim.
My grandma, who's Cherokee, she called them the Aganui, and they actually see them in trees, which they come down. And I was actually telling Clown about this. I think he was talking about they were demon spirits or something. But yeah, they do hang over people, and they come down into the head. And the Cherokee believe that whenever this does happen, that it causes mental illness, craziness, disturbed dreams, and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, I believe they exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody had caught a photograph. They were photographing this doorway, this, I guess, haunted location or something. And they took many different photos of this one doorway. And, the lighting didn't change in there. It was dark and dank, but you were able to see the outline of the doorway and the shadows within above the doorway. Well, there's this one shadow that in each frame, you could see it comes up the doorway a little bit and goes over the top. And then it's kind of slinking down the side in each different photo. And they call them mojos or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure there's many terms for them. But basically, yeah, they hang over doorways, waiting for somebody to walk through who's got a really low vibration, already has all these, issues going on and drama and stuff, low esteem, all this thing. And they drop down into them and attach themselves and wreak more havoc into this person's life because they feed off of it. And I haven't really seen anything like that or encountered anything, but I did hear about it on one of the shows I was watching. I've been tapped, not twice, but once. And while I was sleeping.
I picked on Ceiling Man yesterday.
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I picked on Ceiling Man yesterday, but Eric, if you could blow her up for a minute for me.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Go get him, Jen. What do you got? What do you got for us?
The pillow behind. No, it's not a pillow. It's actually a blanket on a chair. It's got like a dark shape to it that's behind her. So there's like a little spirit there in her house. That's all I was going to say. I see it more from the distance.
Well, my two dogs passed away, and I know I've caught their orbs on camera, big ones, and they're always following me around the house. I could actually put my recorder on with my light and not even record, just watch them through that screen. I can't see them with my eyes. I did a few videos about it. I have their ashes right over here. And also this house that I'm in, it was originally my landlord's mother's house. And I don't know if there was anybody who passed away in this house at any time or anything like that. I've been here the last 6 years. I haven't had anything weird happen, but my cat does go into the back room and goes into the closet and constantly sits there and looks up in the closet and meows all the time. And my mom stays in that room when she comes to stay with me for 6 months out of the year. And she said she's heard noises in the wall, like tapping or something, maybe moving, but not like a rodent kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just, something
So
trying to
that's very
get your attention.
What the heck?
There's
a
a
ghost in
there
Eric's
too.
room.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's
keeping his
ghost I ever
distance.
seen.
Have you ever been on this show, Jen? This is basically the way it works.
He's been on a lot.
Oh yeah, I've been on this show a few times.
Yeah, oh my god.
So you get like a great nugget of truth, and then you get that, and which I love it.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I've also had, when I was sleeping at one of my old houses that I lived in Philly, and a couple people had passed away in this house. When I was sleeping, I felt wind fly by my ear, like whoosh, like a whoosh of air. Because I was laying on my side, this ear was out, and I felt this whoosh of air, and there was nothing going on in my room. I didn't have a fan on. It was wintertime, but something whooshed by my ear. It was really creepy. And my son said when he used to see things at night along the tops of the walls going around the room and stuff. And I told him, I said, well, it's probably the car lights outside, because when your house is dark and the car lights come by, you'll see that running shadow kind of along the wall. But let me tell you, he came screaming out of his room one day. There was a mirror on the back of his door. I had to take this mirror off and throw it out. I could never close the door again, because he said something was coming out of that mirror and trying to get him.
Wow.
So that was really sweet.
All you had to do was salt the mirror, actually. It would have been all right.
See, I didn't know that stuff back then.
Right? When we
I just
first
threw it
moved
out. I'm like, fuck mirror.
We first moved into this house, and there was a lot of weirdness in this house. I don't know what they were, but I knew nothing of this entire subject, because it was, let's see, we got here in 2012. And we had one of those cameras that it would film in the day and night. So that way, when we were gone, like mainly for the dogs and stuff, I had it up. And we checked back on it one time, and it was in the night vision. So if anybody wants to check, I think this is the way to do it.
Ooh.
And in the night vision, we just saw orbs just going crazy. And we were trying, what the heck is that? We're trying, like, was it dust particles? Is it that dirty in here? And this is before I'd done any research on that at all. But you can just see them going left and right, just shooting around, and some are slow and some are. I was like, whoa. Then we started looking into it. We're like, holy shit, we're just like surrounded with whatever these are.
Energy,
Dude, I got some killer orb pictures. And a lot of them are outside orb pictures that I got. Really, really cool ones.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, how can you determine between dust and orbs? Dust will go pretty much in
Look it
one
up on the
direction.
computer.
Dust will go in one direction. I've never seen dust go here,
you look
go
at
here,
dust
over here.
particles.
Okay.
Yeah, dust particles, when you look at them under a microscope and see what they look like, they look nothing like orbs. They don't act like orbs, so they could stick that dust thing up their butts, because that doesn't work for me. I've actually literally filmed things like coming out of one room and darting into another room. And some of them are real white, some of them are iridescent, kind of see-through, and some of them are just like pulsating and stuff. I mean, dust doesn't fucking do that, okay? Yeah. And then I have it inside the house, outside the house, so it's not just my, like, okay, well, your house is dusty, or you just use some powder or something. No, they're all over outside, especially when a storm's coming. If it's starting to get dark out and a storm's coming, you go outside with your camera and you can video these things all over the place.
Yeah, the energy of the storm that they'll contract to.
But Val, should I be nervous if I see a lot of orbs every day? Is there anything to be nervous about, or anything I should look for? I be seeing a lot of orbs?
No, orbs are just, they're just spirit energy. I mean, I've said this once before. I mean, a lot of people don't see what I see, but if you could see the world through my eyes and you think it's crowded now, if you can imagine every century around you of people, so it's just an everyday occurrence. So these orbs are just what that is. I mean, it's just either a lot of spirit energy. I mean, we just have to go on.
Is it because they can't go where they're supposed to go by any chance? Like they can't go to heaven or hell or something, and they're kind of stuck here?
Some of them, are lost.
Right. I was thinking, could they be animal spirits? Like when animals die and insects die and all this stuff, like their energy's still here and it maybe gets born back into this reality, but they don't actually leave this dimension. Maybe that could be their spirits. I don't know. But there's big ones, there's little ones. They come in all sizes, colors. It's just, but they're always orb shaped. It's not dust. And when you catch them, if you catch them on camera, even like when they're in motion, or if you get a real clear picture of one and you can zoom in on it, you could see the energy frequency all through it.
Wow.
And about that, Jen, I'm noticing myself, since whatever it is process we're going through, like even when I have to to clear an area in a yard and cut down a tree, I know it sounds goofy. I apologize. Like, if I have to trim branches, hey, I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't hurt too much, but we need to clear this, or that tree needs to go. And I feel like I owe that now because they're alive. I mean, and the same thing, one of my dogs decided he saw a mouse and he kind of played too hard and it was dying and I had to kill it. And it really bothered me to do it, but I had to do it because it was in pain. It's like, there's a whole thing to what you said. The energy of everything is around here. And
you didn't nurse him back to health?
What you said,
what did he say? What did you say?
Ruth Bell had mentioned that they're attracted to storms. I have a picture that I call Riders on the Storm. I was out back my house. It was clear sky on the one side, and just coming over my house was the storm front. And it was so ominous looking compared to the other half of the sky. So I took a picture of it because you could see like the shelving in the cloud bank. It was just crazy. Really big thunder cell, but it hadn't started to rain yet. It was just moving in. So I took a picture of it. There's all these orbs up in the clouds, like, and all the way, you can see the distance even between these orbs and stuff. And I'm not talking like UFO orbs. I mean like spirit orbs. And I always called them Riders on the Storm. And I did notice that anytime a storm's coming, especially if it's towards the nighttime, you can go out with your flash or with your light on and with your recorder, you'll pick them up all over. I walk around my house at them floating around. It's amazing.
Well, the thing is just because there's an orb or an energy or whatever, Hollywood's what makes us fear everything, all those movies and stuff. If you have something around you that's negative, you'll know it. Yeah. Feel like crap. Things will be happening to you. I mean, like the dream where you'll be held down against your will. It'll be frightening. You'll know if there's a negative thing. If you've just put on a camera and you see a bunch of orbs, don't worry about it. They've been there long. You didn't know it. Don't get freaked about it now. Embrace it maybe and say, okay, maybe they're all just angels and I'm just being really protected. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but with all this craziness, whenever I talk to God, I'm like, hey, if you got any angels you're not using, send them here. Give me them all. I want them all on this property, on my family. I want them all. As many as you got, I'll take them all. So if there's thousands of orbs flying around, maybe that's what it is. We actually don't know. Even myself, we don't know anything. We're all just figuring it's all theories until we get up wherever we end up. It's all a theory. So there's people that have researched and they know way more than I do, maybe. But in the end of the day, just like, everything else, it's a theory until we can prove it.
Yeah, well, the Japanese ruined it for me. I used to not care about ghosts, and the Japanese made their own version of ghosts. Fuck me up, man. I mean, I was okay with the ghosts the way they were in America.
What about that whole grudge thing coming out of her head and stuff? I mean, those are
bad.
You telling me Ghost Adventures is fake? It's not real?
I can handle any ghost in America, but when the Japanese pulled out that freaking the ring,
where they came out of the TV and the well, that was
the ring.
Yeah, that's creepy. The Ring. I think it was called The Ring.
Yeah, the Ring.
Yeah, and don't they call you first? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and then you got Paranormal Activity that really put fear in people.
Yeah, I didn't even that didn't scare. It was anything out of Japan. I was watching all those Japanese ghosts.
And remember, Bob, Blair Witch Project. We were living in Maryland where they filmed the Blair Witch Project, and you look at these ugly woods, like there's nothing scary about these woods.
No, that was a great time. I took a shit out there. It was fine. There was no scary things out there.
You know how many people got sick in that movie and had to run out vomiting? It was so funny. I was reading about that.
Eric loved that movie. He loved the whole series. Eric loved that whole. I couldn't watch. I watched the first one. I was like, I'm done. I can't watch any more than this. I can't handle the video camera person running around. I can't do it, man. It's just.
I'll tell you the thing that's scary. That really kind of one of the things that freaked me out yesterday. So there's a casino near here. Which anybody that thinks that this isn't some master plan of some people that are above everything, the entire world shut down overnight, including the Native Americans. So when have they ever listened to anything the U.S. has to say at this point, right? So they decided to. Right, they decided to reopen the casino. I got a letter yesterday. And it's fascinating. So first of all, just to even get on, I mean, tell me if this sounds like a fun time. Just to get on the property in your car, show them your ID. It has to be like a driver's license or a passport or military ID. Okay, that's to get in. Then once you get out of your car, 60% capacity is allowed. And if it turns out there's more than that, they say go home and come back another day. Then if you actually get inside, they take your temperature. And if you show signs of a temperature, get this number, 100.4, which is like nothing, or higher, then you're out. If you cough, you're out. And then
That's crazy.
I know, right? I'm not even done. Then when you go inside, none of the restaurants are open. None of the gaming tables are open. The only thing that's open is the slot machines. And if there's slot machines, you have to have one on either side of you open at all times. So let's say you want to, I'm not saying I do this. I'm just saying, if you want to play in this machine, you have to wait until the person that's sitting next to it leaves because you can't go. And once the person's done with their slot machine, you have to push a call button. You have to wait for someone to come over, completely wipe down the machine. And then you can go and like there's no, it's just like on and on and on, all these rules and stuff. And I'm thinking, let's say someone wanted to go there and fight all that. If you're sitting on a machine and let's say you took a sip of something or people smoke in there, what if you smoked all of a sudden you had a coughing fit? Suddenly people surround you and you're the fuck out of there. And then with the contract tracing, if they test you, then anybody else in that casino is now going to get 2 weeks at home. You know, it's just like they're making it so you don't want to be in the beast.
What I don't understand is how can you enforce any of this? How can people comply with this? Okay, look, people have to work. People have to pay bills. People are losing their houses, their cars. Bills are late. Everything's getting turned off on people. There's a lot of untold stories happening here. And it's just utter lunacy what is taking place. And that people are allowing this to happen. I can't even understand. I can't comprehend. It's like 1 minute everything was fine. And then literally a switch flipped and we're in like bizarro fucking world. And it's getting more bizarre by every day.
And there's some people that we knew that I was talking to about this, and they seemed on board. And then when I called her up and said, hey, check out all these new rules because she likes the casino, it's like, well, that all sounds good to me. It's like, wait, what? She says, I'm really upset that they didn't bring back bingo yet. I'm like, wait, you're just upset about bingo? I feel like saying you're completely missing the whole message here. Should we start over? You know, that's all she cared about. There's no bingo.
Bingo. I like bingo.
That's crazy.
I know. Who doesn't like bingo? What am I going to give up my rights for bingo?
Yeah, it's too much, dude. I ain't gonna go to the fucking. I am not going to the casino like that. I'm not playing their game, man. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I'm staying quarantined and just having a good time with the fucking silence. I playing their games, man. It's all bullshit. I heard there's a new thing going around right now. I'm not changing the subject, but it's just this morning. I told Eric I had a big ass laugh. I'm not fucking with you guys. I'm sitting on I'm sleeping on the floor pad, whatever, and I'm sitting up, you know, and I'm watching the fucking TV, scratching my fucking beard. And they have this big thing that says Donald Trump cult. Wait, what? Donald Trump religious cult. And I said, what the fuck is this? This is on primetime news. Okay, so yeah, go, wait a minute. What's this? In big letters, Donald Trump religious cult. I said, now,
I'll type that in.
What chapter are we in? Because this is be a big ass comic book. That's all. I'm seeing a comic book. What chapter are we in now? Okay, next chapter. We get past the virus. Oh, here we go. Next chapter. QAnon, the new cult of QAnon, and Donald Trump is the religious leader of the cult of QAnon. I said, oh God, oh my God, no. We're not going this direction. This is not happening. I go up, I go, Eric, you got to check this out. Eric's like, what? The cult of fucking Donald Trump, dude. QAnon, the cult of Donald Trump. It's on the news right now. And this lady talked about the bullshit.
They're being surrounded by some negative spirits.
Okay, no, yeah, okay. You know what? Truth Seeker, you might be the one familiar with QAnon. Do you have any? Can you fill us in? Do you have any information on that? Anybody know the QAnon thing?
I don't pay any attention.
I was a
I don't even go there.
I was hoping somebody here would.
If I want a good laugh, I'll go there.
Yeah, I was a good card for a while, but I'm out of that.
The cult of Trump now. The cult of, I call him. You know, he's was it Biff or Biff from fucking Back to the Future.
Yeah, Biff.
He's Biff, man. I
Back
mean,
to the
he's
Future.
Biff.
Yeah.
Bob, remember our friend Jamie Strangler, who's on our show 2 weeks ago? He interviewed Bob Gale, who produced Back to the Future, and Biff character was created as a Donald Trump. So you are correct.
Right. Yeah, it's Biff, man. He's Biff. He's Biff, man. I'm like, this guy's a fucking, and I don't want to put him down because there's nothing left but idiot. You got no. I don't want to go into politics either.
So
I'm just saying the cult of Donald Trump. What is next? And this is the, if it's on the news, it's supposed to be on the news. If you're supposed to have that information in your head, you're supposed to have the information in your head. So the fact that they have religious cult of Donald Trump, I'm like, what are we going?
Remember, Ragnar Steelspine is voting for me for president, so that's good.
Yes, vote for Eric. I'm voting for Eric. Just so I can say I voted and I voted for Eric. So yeah,
my wife told me something.
But
I want to try something that my wife told me about.
What is flashing in his screen over there?
Which screen?
Watch this.
Ceiling man. Every once in a while, I see like this bright flash, and I didn't know what he was.
Let's see if you can see. Did you see that?
cool.
You blew smoke out of your fucking mask.
So these don't do shit.
No, man.
Isn't that a great?
They don't do shit.
Isn't that a great experiment you can show someone? Watch.
Well, if you know microbiology.
Wait, I gotta go get my hoax back.
Bob, you want one?
Is that your toilet paper? I think I got one.
So what does this mask do? Nothing. I put on different hats so that way I'm not like got another ghost. See, now I look like MASH. Shit, if I put on the white doctor's coat, I'd really look like a doctor at this point. I'm on the front lines now.
There's my mask. All right, so listen, Gypsy, I sent you an email, and I wanted to show through the veil this little video I made of my orbs around my house that I think are my dogs. So it's in your email. It's only like 2-minute long video, but I slowed it down because, you know, the orbs move really fast. So I slowed them down, the time on the video, so you can really see them and stuff. And it's pretty amazing.
Check it out.
I'm still waiting for.
Yeah, I want to know what.
Eric's trying to find it.
No, I'm on my email. It's not it. Oh, there it is. It just came in.
I sent you some porno too. Check out that porno.
Yeah, I want to know what Through the Veil thinks of it.
Okay.
No porno today.
Well, it's for anthropology.
You know what was fun today? Again, yesterday was great on this show, and then things happened, and I got into funked. And this morning I was doing, and then I went on lifting the lid because he used to have that Friday show. So you know what he did today? No, you know what he did today? He was on D Live and YouTube, and we would go on his channel. He would have people put links in of other channels that aren't awake. And then we would go in as a troll mob, and we would go in there and just start speaking truth in like gaming communities. And there was a Mars channel. We were having so much fun, and people are freaking out. Where all these trolls come from? And we were the trolls. It was so fun. So if he does that again, I highly recommend it.
This channel's awesome.
That was so fun. Flash mob troll.
Send me a notice when you guys do that. I want to be able to do that too.
I'd never done it. He just did it as I know of today.
I want to do that. It sounds like fun.
It was so fun. It was so. I'd never been a troll.
Will you be able to make?
What's that?
Can you make the video big on the screen when you play it?
Yeah.
Can you make the video big when you play it? Okay, good.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, let me make sure the volume's up. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh my God, is that Voynich?
Yeah, I saw him.
I could have went the whole day without that. Oh.
I feel like we're in school. Isn't this fun? When they brought in that little. Ooh, I saw that. That was a good one. The hand helps too, Jen. Thanks for the giant yellow hand.
This one, you're welcome. This is a good one right here. Watch this. Watch.
Toilet paper. She's got.
I'm just walking around my house videoing. Now check this out. Watch. Here it comes. Wait for it.
Wait for it. Ooh, nice.
That was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We should add like horror music to this. But see, they're not scary. That's the thing. If I ever see these, it's like I'm enjoying the fact that I kind of saw through the veil or whatever you want to call this, because you never saw them before.
Now I pay attention.
Right? And that's part of it. Well, I saw one. Oh.
Yeah, no, that one's, for sure. Usually they have like colors. See how that one has like a blue and then it's flashing.
That's my favorite. See how it's
Wow.
pulsating.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pulsating.
This is cool. I get orbs, but never yellow hands. How do you get those in your house?
Those hands should be scary. What if those hands touch you at night?
That's the one tapping on Robert's shoulder. And
There's the hand.
there it goes. Oh, it's got music. That's George Nori.
Oh,
All right, now I'm laying in bed.
Oh, wow.
I'm laying in bed here, which is my dog used to lay on the bed with me, and my cat is watching the orbs.
That's fantastic.
And so I started videoing to see what he was looking at. And now I'm laying down in the bed just with my camera on, and these things, which I believe are my dogs, my 2 dogs, and my other cat that passed away.
Man, the music takes me back. I used to listen to that show.
I love the music.
Yeah, I like the ones that pulsate. That is.
And the changed color. That's fascinating. Here goes one.
You guys can't see me, but I'm dancing.
That's a good thing.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
That was nice. Good job.
But I noticed my cat looks at a lot of things. Like he'll just be sitting there and he'll be watching something. So I start putting my camera on to see what he's looking at, and he can see them. He can definitely see them.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, yeah.
Because of
I'm gonna have to find that camera that I told you we caught a bunch on. I'll see if I still. It was on a little chip that went on the side. If I can find it, I'll post it or send it to you, Jen, because there's a lot on those.
Yeah, there's quite a few of my videos.
Hey, Belle, let me ask you a question. Is it recommended to ever use a Ouija board in a house? Is that a bad thing to use?
I don't
Yeah,
recommend it.
You don't have any
I would
problems?
not touch
Yeah,
that.
me neither.
Everything about that's evil, and why mess with dark spirits?
I don't even look at a Ouija board. If I see there's one around, I'll just walk the other way. I don't want to even look at it.
Well, the reason why Eric's talking about it, because our dead gay older brother used to do Ouija board in the bedroom that I am staying in, by the way. And I recently acquired an injury on my face from somehow I got it. I don't know how I got it. I got flung across the room. But yeah, my older brother used to do Ouija board, a homemade Ouija board in that room.
In this room. I'm in right now.
Robert, if you believe in the way I think it, rather than doing, you can sage, and I think that's a good thing. But if you rebuke it in his name, I think that would end your issue. Even if he drew dark spirits in there, they're not allowed to stay.
Well, he was a Mandela effect. My older brother was a Mandela effect because in 2016, I went to go see him, came over here, and the dude had 2 onks tattooed on his forearm. Oh, I said, since when have you gotten 2 big, thick-ass onks, like, tattooed on his forearm? I said, you've never had tattoos on your forearm, man. What? And what are you doing with the whole religious? What are you doing with onks on your forearm? And I peek into his room. We used to talk, but he couldn't talk to me anymore. He's a different person in this timeline, upside down world. And he had these religious relics everywhere. And he had his Ouija board homemade and all kinds of weird shit. He was doing
Bizarre.
magic and all kinds of shit. He's watching my videos. And so somehow he's thinking, how's my younger brother
I
getting all
forget
this?
where it was.
What's that?
Steve and I did a show together, and Steve and I were doing a show a while back, and he had said that somewhere here in America, in some big parking lot, they painted a giant Ouija board on the ground.
Oh,
And,
And like
disgusting.
everybody was okay with that. Like
That's
I think like the
terrible.
bigger the Ouija board, the bigger the the demon gonna come through it. I don't know, but why would somebody even do that? That's insanity.
You can open a door with anything, really.
Yeah, he was trying to conjure spirits and shit, and then again he died of a heart attack, guys. Now think about this. To go back to what Vale was talking about, I wouldn't mess with Ouija boards. As simple as that. Our older brother did, and he was rushed off with a heart attack. Well, that he was smoking some that bath salts and some kind of weird ass shit.
But also, why is he smoking that stuff? Because maybe there's things making him do it or telling him that it's okay. Because same thing with alcoholics and stuff. The deeper they go in, it's harder to get out. Heroin addict, the whole bit.
His death is actually related to meeting Belle, because I was on another paranormal channel named Clown, and then Belle one day Belle goes, "Is there somebody standing behind you, like a woman who just died?" And my brother at that time was he was transforming into a woman. He was taking the hormone shots and everything, and she actually saw him behind me, and that's how we met.
That's weird.
Wow.
That real, man.
Yeah.
What turn is in here?
Yesterday, what I don't actually know your real name. If you told me, I forgot through the veil. Nicole. So yesterday, Nicole, I'm Richard. You said when I was wearing this, he was happy. He was laughing. Are we still at this stage? I don't still see. Is it her?
I just see it as an attachment. I mean, like
it's still there though.
Yeah, it's still there. Like I was telling Eric, I would have to be, around the object personally to tell you, because I'm like a hands-on psychic, medium, clairvoyant. I got a whole bunch of things going on, but I would have to touch it physically, and I could close my eyes and see a movie, and I could tell you about the person that is attached to that hat, where they lived, anything and everything. So I'm pretty much hands-on. I cannot see it from here. I just see the glitch, which is there about the brim area.
And it's interesting. Just even a few years ago, I wouldn't even watched this channel because everyone here. And yet I've experienced so many things, like you're saying, that like any one of them would be like, oh my God, my life has changed, kind of thing. We've seen things like birds that just vanish, and my wife's seen some just pop out of nowhere. And we've seen invisible planes, and we had a couple, they had come by, and there was a chemtrail plane that had huge chemtrails coming out, and it was invisible. And he even said, my God, that looks like Wonder Woman's plane. So I've seen so many crazy things. So what you're talking about, I totally get. I get that the whole empath thing, like they show in Star Trek, and my wife has it too, but I get mystery pains from other people. And it started with my dad, because he's been through a lot of health issues. And it really got funny, because it got to the point I could tell when something was I was feeling, or something I was feeling for someone else. And when I could feel it for someone else, I could take it on, and they would alleviate whatever they were dealing with, and then mine would be gone. I could tell it would be gone in a few hours or the next day. I just had a feeling I can use this and get rid of it, and then they'll be better. And it got to the point where whenever my dad, he would call me, and he's like, "So Richard," I'm like, "So is your left foot like it's hurting?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was waiting for you to call me." So it's like, and then I could do it with different people. And one time my wife and I were driving somewhere, and just like something came over me, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it's not mine. It's someone we just ran into. And what was that movie with Bruce Willis where he could like touch people and instantly feel, what was that? The one I See Dead People one, or
Sixth Sense.
Not Sixth Sense, the other one. Where he got really strong, whatever that was.
Oh, Unbreakable.
Yeah, and he could touch people and just instantly feel everything and know if they're good, bad, what's going on. And that's kind of what it is. Like I go by or near someone, and then I've taken this thing on. And so I know that sounds nuts, but I understand exactly what you're talking about your experiencing these auras and seeing them and feel. I get it. So,
Maybe you're gifted and you just don't realize it.
Well, of course, I'm gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This hat actually belongs to my dead brother. Any chance you see anything with this hat?
You are stealing that.
I think Julian has downsies. I think he has downsies.
That could be.
Like that, yeah.
And we don't call it that anymore, Robert.
I break rules, man. I use the words you're not supposed to use anymore.
I used the word retarded, and I got in trouble. I'm like, wait, that's the definition. I didn't say retard. I said retarded. That's wrong now. Now you got to say all these other things.
Out of it. Literally, I have people, I have friends that have learning disabilities, and there's all 1,000 different names. And since the Mandela effect has started, I have taken the piss out of words. I have there's a classic word back. It's back in early literature, archaeology. It's called niggard, and the word has a D at the end of it. And what it means is to be drunk and to fall over and to stagger. And Irish sailors would come into ports. They would say these guys are niggard. They're drunk. They're staggering around. And then the word got stolen again by the white supremacists, and then just like the swastika and anything else, it got dwarfed into. So I take those old words. I feel gay today, man. God damn, I feel gay.
I can't believe they took away that one. We used to, when I was a kid growing up, we played a game called Smear the Queer, and it was a football and a bunch of guys trying to tackle him. Didn't mean he was a homosexual, and if he was acting like a faggot, we'd call him that. Stop being a fag. And it didn't mean anything gay at all. And if you're my age, you know what a fag really means. And over in England, it meant a cigarette. So, they steal our words and they screw them all up and they grab our rainbow. And I don't mean like a community or a government. I'm saying even higher up. All these have been manipulated to make us fight each other.
They hijack it.
And we fight everyone. We even fight ourselves. And they laugh at us because none of us are in our enemies. All those shows that we jumped in this morning on Robin's show to troll, we were trying to bring those people to wake up because they're our buddies, they're our friends, they're our allies. The people above are screwing with us, but they don't get it, and we fight each other. So
we fight each other. Because everything's been hijacked. Everything, attitudes, any clubs, and that's why I always say, "Is the Earth round or flat?" I go, "I don't know what's fixed." I don't give any other answer than that. Is this? I said, "I don't know. I don't have that memory." Is this? I said, "I don't know. I'm not from here," and that's incorrect. That's all I can say. What about the sun? The sun is incorrect. It's not my sun. What about this? I don't know. I don't remember it being that way. It's not my moon. What about this? I don't remember it being that way. That doesn't belong to me. So I'm just a tourist here. I said, that's all I can say. Other than that, I don't know. And I'll start using. I'll just start taking a piss out of everything. Just taking it out of everyone that's so serious. Oh my God, you're so serial. Oh my God. It's so serial. I just take the piss out of everything.
Bob, you did that pretty good. Do it again for us.
It's so serial.
You can do the rest of the show in that way. I think it'd be awesome.
Oh my God, it's cereal. Yeah.
I think someone should do an entire video of just blowing smoke through these, to maybe that would help people realize they don't work. I don't know.
Hey, Val, I'm wearing this hat that I'm wearing is actually from my dead brother's sister. By any chance, do you see anything with this hat?
No, but I've been sitting here thinking there is a ring that was supposed to have been his. It's got a square insignia. I kind of get where is it?
I don't know.
I have to look. He's got a lot of stuff. I still got a lot of his stuff here.
Jewelry. You sure?
Well, he had a lot of jewelry. He was buying a lot of jewelry. He was I'm not saying he was getting mentally, but he was getting to a point where he was just buying everything, jewelry, everything, clothes. I mean, it was just like he was going a little bit too crazy.
No, I'm getting this.
Is that like a spirit? A spirit take over them to make them want to consume like that? You know, all that buying of material goods and stuff. You think a spirit's taken over him?
I think he was possessed because the night he died, Eric did not tell me he died. I made a live show. I made a live show in my backyard, and that night I had a nightmare. Me and my older brother were fighting like we were kids. We got a big ass fight, a visual fight, just like when we were kids. We duked it out big time. It was like Dragon Ball Z epic in my dreams. And then I wake up the next day, and Eric's like, "Hey, dude, I got some bad news." I go, "What?" Mike just fucking died. I said, "What? Like when?" Because last night. I said, "Last night?" Okay, I just had a fucking nightmare about it, man. I had a huge all night dream nightmare. We were Dragon Ball Z and all night long.
Well,
up in the sky.
Oh, Bob, remember, get this story, guys. Get this story.
Wow.
Get this story. This is true. Okay. He had to go to the hospital because he was coughing up blood. He was coughing up a lot, right? So we called the ambulance. They say he'll be fine. They took him to the hospital. It was at nighttime, so we weren't allowed to be in there, right? Okay. So next morning, my wife got a phone call from the hospital saying, when are you going to pick up his stuff? I'm serious. They asked her, when are you going to pick up the stuff? My wife's like, what do you mean pick up his stuff? Oh, nobody called you and told you that he passed away at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
3 in the
He
morning,
passed
of course.
away. They didn't tell us, and they're calling us to pick up his stuff already without anybody telling us he passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're like, what do you mean he passed away? What are you talking about? Oh, middle of the night he had a heart attack and we couldn't revise him. Oh, and nobody told us. They just told us, can we come by and pick up his stuff?
That's weird too, man.
That's insane.
It wasn't that sick. It was like nothing that bad. It was.
Hey guys, get this. It gets better too. The day that we had family come down, we're going to do the we're going to do a funeral thing.
Oh, my dad.
Our dads, yeah, we're going to do a funeral thing. Get this right. We had the date. We had the date to go down there. Bob, my cousins came down from Oregon, Medford, Oregon, all came down. We go down there like, there's no funeral today. The people gave us the wrong date. They messed up and never told us they had to reschedule. So we had people down there. There's no group. We had to make up a funeral.
Wow.
Bob, we had to make up a funeral, and then when it was all done, I swear to God, it was sunny. It was all sunny.
I
then
remember.
It started pouring down rain.
Oh my God!
And then all the cars start to go off, like somebody touched them with the car alarms.
Wow.
It was weird.
Oh, it was like I've been in Hong Kong. It was worse than typhoon rain. It was fucking like I ain't never seen rain like this. It just calmed down, like the sky opened up and just poured down. Everyone was like, "Holy fuck!"
So,
Like it was
Bill,
gonna
have you
you a
heard
car.
like that where you're at a funeral, then a bad weather just happened and all the cars starts to go off? Can that be like a spirit saying, "Hey, look at me, fuckers, I'm here"?
I'm still alive.
I guess it's possible if he's got enough energy floating around. I mean,
Holy shit! I guess our dad had a lot of energy.
Because I was talking to Bob and I was just telling them stories about how our Uncle Bob died. All suddenly the cars went off, like they were listening.
That's
I
weird.
was like, "Oh shit, that's Uncle Bob right there hitting the cars."
That's weird.
it could be. I mean, it takes a lot, and I do mean a lot of energy to get someone's attention. So, I mean,
But
I'm not saying it's not possible.
can like a family? I don't know. I know this sounds weird, but can like a family ghost like join a funeral, and then since there's more of them, maybe there's enough energy with 3 or 4 of them to do something?
Hey,
Yeah.
it is, all things are possible. I mean, they're all hanging around saying, "Hey, let's check this out."
Yeah, we were hanging around we had a funeral ourselves. We just did our own funeral. We just made it up. We made up our own funeral. We just did it ourselves.
Well, it was supposed to be a military funeral, so we're supposed to have the
military.
but
Supposed to be military, man, but we just did it ourselves. And then right after that fucking weird ass, and it was blue skies, like there's nothing in the sky. And then all of a sudden it just darkened up and just came fucking down. It reminds me of my truck. Eric, remember when my truck? A tree fell on my truck at the Veterans Administration at the VA hospital. I had to go to the emergency room from the VA hospital to another hospital. I'm in my truck at the VA for pain management, and I'm just getting off the learning how to get down off the opiates because I was on tons of opiates and all kinds of pain meds. Cutting down, feeling good about myself. I get in my truck and I sit down. It's a beautiful day, gorgeous blue skies, and I light up a cigarette, turn on the radio, AM radio. All of a sudden, I look in front of me, and there's a tree, big ass tree, and the tree is doing this weird like dance like this. I was like, "What the fuck is that? Are we having an earthquake?" It is plausible. We're in Washington, but I don't feel the truck moving. But I'm assuming it's got to be an earthquake because the tree's moving pretty fucking good. So next thing you know, the tree comes up and then down and smashes onto my truck. Eric, remembers that?
Yep.
It came down and smashed onto my truck. Now I'm impaled in my fucking Ranger. I'm calling freaking cops. The cops got the fire department and they got me out of the vehicle. And then they go over and I said, "What the fuck happened?" And there is no storm. There is no clouds. It's just tree just ripped out of the ground. And so I walk over and I ask the fire department, and they're all
Maybe it was a Bigfoot.
it could have been a
It could be a
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot spirit.
It
It's
could
Dog
be
Man.
because
A
Bigfoot and
spirit of a
Robert
Bigfoot.
Road, I guess.
Or dog man. Yeah. They're
It
known
was-
for ripping trees out.
oh yeah, because it was
King Road, not a good area.
it was like I was like, okay, so it must be some kind of bug rot. It's obviously bug rot, some kind of rot. And I go over and the fire department guy says we can't figure it out because apparently it had pulled itself out of its roots. Its roots are hanging out. The fucker is out of the ground, and he's got, like you said, a Bigfoot pulled it out of the ground and then threw it onto my truck. It's like,
Who did you piss off?
Wow.
did I piss off? Holy shit! But the cool thing was, I got $5,000 for it. I got $5,000. So
And
my
your
truck, I got
The truck wasn't
That's
even worth
something
that.
yeah, the truck ran fine. It's an old it's a Ford Ranger. It's made of metal. So the thing had a slight dent in it, and then a cracked windshield, and nothing. $5,000 was a lot of money for me, so I enjoyed it.
I thought you had a chassis left and the Ford Ranger got hit by a tree. Them things are junk.
They're brutal. They're good fucking vehicles. But a lot of weird ass, unexplainable things have always happened. I'm sure all of us have experienced that. Things you just can't.
No, I
There's so many now, I can't even keep track. It's just like a daily occurrence.
Since that man's wearing that hat, has his aura changed from white?
Do what?
Is-
Since the only fan man's wearing the hat that's haunted or an attachment, has his aura changed from the color white to something else?
Wait, I have a white aura?
Well,
No,
me and
it-
Paul are white, and we found out that True Seeker's blue. What's Silly Fan's color now?
Oh, what's his color? Yeah.
It's kind of whitish gray. I mean, he does have some.
Oh, did you see the light just did
I
that
see the
thing?
glitch. I see the glitch. I see the light glitch.
Did you see that?
It's
I
been
couldn't
doing,
pick my-
it's been doing that. But yeah,
You
So I
glitchy.
look, not to sound racist, I look white, I hope. But I
You
look
look
white, and then I
good.
put this on and it goes gray.
see the glitch?
Yeah, I saw it again.
It
That-
glitched when you do that. It glitched when you-
It glitches when you mess with the hat. Just
Yeah, that's what I noticed. It's got to be Escobar or whatever. Pablo Escobar's hat.
Escobar.
Escobar,
I better-
yeah.
I'll go grab a cigar then. Maybe
You
he
do
wants
it,
that.
Maybe he could go to the casino with that
I-
hat. Maybe
Dude,
the
I'm never touching a casino. Not that I went much at all. I don't. There's no way. Are you kidding? Did you hear what I read? That list? There's no
I
way.
know you
I'm not
read it,
doing
but dude, you got the hat. Maybe the hat is going to make you a winner.
I'm already a winner.
I have a question for Val.
Okay.
Okay, so my son, he's 26 years old, but when he was only 3 months old, his grandmother passed away, and she used to babysit him a lot, even though he was only 3 months old. He was a big part of her life, but then she passed away when he was about 3 months old. Actually, maybe like 3, 4, 5 months old, somewhere right around there. And we wound up inheriting her house and moved in there. She died in the house, and one night he's laying in his crib, and I've never heard an infant 3 to 5 months old crack up laughing. I don't know if anybody's ever heard an infant baby crack up laughing as if like they're being tickled or something.
Right.
So I hear him laughing. It's like 8 o'clock at night, I'm like checking. I have the door cracked so I could see in the room, night lights there. And I see him looking up at the ceiling, kind of like off to the wall in the ceiling, that part. I got my husband, my ex-husband, and I said, "Come here, look at this." I said, "What is he doing?" It's like first off, he was cracking up laughing, and he would laugh really hard, and then he'd stop for a second, and then he'd start laughing really hard again and stop again. We listened for like 10 minutes watching this, and I'm like, "It's got to be your mother. Like, your mother must be, playing with them and stuff or whatever," because he was just like cracking up laughing, like he was being tickled. It was so crazy. And then finally, I went in the room to see what he was looking at. It all stopped, and I picked him up out of the crib, and I was just, saying thank you to her for being here. And I know she loves them and misses them and everything. But do you have any interesting stories or know anything about, infants and small children when they're seeing spirits and stuff? And maybe they're not old enough to even talk about it or describe it.
Good question.
Yeah. Usually children often see spirits more than adults because as we grow older, And we start watching the movies, we start getting our own disbeliefs. We actually lose what we call the veil. Children are born with the veil. I mean, they see spirits. So they're not what am I trying to say? Influenced by adult things. So they have an innocence. And that's why spirits do come to them. That you often hear, spirits come to the innocent first. Even as, if you're investigating into the paranormal, keep that childlike innocence. They will come to you. If you see a lot of, some of my videos, I'm playing with them like a child, yay, and if you keep that innocence, they are drawn to an innocence. So, children do see them more than, adults do. I mean, what I think. Just like
it was amazing. It was amazing to watch because she lived in that house for like 30 years. She died in that house. We were now living in that house, and she was really, really attached to her latest grandson that she had, and because all the other grandkids were grown up. And he looked exactly like his father, which was the only boy in the family as well. So she really hadn't. I mean, you put my son's picture next to his father's picture at the same age, 3 months old, you couldn't tell them apart. I mean, they were just identical. So yeah, it was amazing to see that happen. It totally opened me up even more to the whole spirit world, and the fact that kids usually from the time they're born up until about 5 or 6 can still see these spirits. And a lot of it has to do also with their pineal gland still being open and not as calcified as it would be as we get older. But I've noticed, though, in the last 15 years or so, you don't really hear a lot of these stories anymore, because now they're pumping the kids up with a shit ton more shots as soon as they're born. They get like, by the time they're 1 year old, they have like 70 shots that they've already taken and stuff. So you're not hearing these stories of, young children experiencing, like I see dead people or whatever, or just, experiencing this type of interaction with the veil itself.
That's true. That your card, like your shots card, you can't let them into school without their shots card completed. I'm like, I don't agree with these shots though. But it doesn't matter. The school district says you got to get them all the shots. I'm like, what the fuck? What are these shots?
There's a reason. Shoot them up with so much stuff the minute they come out, as opposed to what I got when I was born, and I'm 50 years old. They're getting like 10 times more shots than what I got when I was younger, and what my kids got when they were little. My oldest is 30 years old now, so they're not getting to even try to attempt to experience anything that's coming through the veil to still capture that innocence and be able to see it and everything. It's like it's just being cut off, and I think that has to do with maybe the indigo generation that was being born. There was supposed to be about 15 years ago to 10 years ago, generation of kids being born that had all their senses online, or at least a good part of them. They were very empathic, they were very telepathic. They had abilities to overcome this matrix that we're in. And they didn't want that generation to be born, because that would actually help us move away from all this bullshit. So that I feel like that's why they amped up the immunization programs for as soon as they're born up until about 3 or 4.
But what if we are the indigo kids? Because I noticed a lot of people our age, within our age group, within like a 20-year period of our age group, are the ones with the Mandela effect that have the strongest effects are within our age group. I have noticed that within our age group, we're all about the same age. I mean, give and take 5 or 6 years, whatever. But it seems to be pretty consistent with my notes. Some of the younger people do have some of the effects, but mostly people our age. I keep asking myself, I wonder if we were the missing indigo group. That one specific age group.
I think it started maybe with, I did hear this a long time ago. It started with our generation, like in and around the 70s, early 70s, late 60s. And then we had our children, which both my boys are very intuitive. They're very, like I told you, they'd experiences when they were younger with ghosts. My son saw something coming out of his mirror. My other youngest son saw his grandmother, obviously, when he was a baby in a crib, and he's had other experiences. And now that generation, my son's generation, are having the kids, which we put it back like 15 years ago, that are would have been more in tune in vibrational frequency, higher frequency. And none of this crap that they're pulling on us have ever even worked on them. So it seems like that generation really amped it up because the indigos are coming in waves. It's like we're in third generation indigo, but you don't really see any of them around because they just went crazy with the immunization program, and it does something to these kids.
Adderall, every fucking pill you can think of. Pills for this, pills for pills, pills for pills. These kids are all on pills.
I was saying all kinds of things muted. That's awesome. But you know what? I have a theory about that. I think part of the reason that we, if this is true, woke up more or faster or more of us is we were the TV generation, right? We had MTV, we had the television, we had the movie, and that's where all the Mandelas, at least to me, started. I started seeing first was in all the pop culture. And movies from the 80s and books that we read as kids were changing. Yeah. So it affected us faster. I don't know, but that's what I think.
Yeah.
What I actually think, and I probably step on toes when I say what I think, but whenever I was talking about an innocence, how many of your kids nowadays, 5, maybe even younger than that, I've seen 2-year-olds with laptops, cell phones.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so their world is already influenced. I mean, you take a child like, my son was born in the 90s, but he was a country kid. He did not have internet. He did not have the phones. He didn't have any of that stuff to influence him. I raised him what I call like the tree hugger kids because I was raised that way. I was born in Cherokee Nation, and I learned about the trees and the imps, and and I brought them up in that childlike innocence. And my children are gifted, I guess, because they were not influenced by the world yet to have all that pulled away from them. So I think with children today, they are given all this crap, excuse me, to take them away from what the world actually, what they are supposed to be seeing. And that's what's influencing them. They don't have the innocence no more. They're growing up too quick.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
First computer was in high school, my sophomore year. That's the first time we got hands on a computer. And now, like you say, 2-year-olds have little phones.
Yeah, they don't have to search anything anymore. They just Google it. They don't have to research anything. They get the answers too quickly. They don't have to earn it.
I used to go to the library. You had to go to the research section.
There's no
Yeah. You had to go to the research.
These smartphones have taken away critical thinking.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you used to go to the library. You had to go to the research section. You couldn't even take the book out. You had to, for a paper, you had to go to at least 3 sources, right? I was going to pull out this stupid little black mirror.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia is usually the first thing that pops up, and that's it. You're done. Or you ask Alexa. And like you say, these things, it truly is that freaking movie WALL-E that we're getting stupider because these are getting more useful and better. Yeah. And it sucks because it's an amazing tool, but we know where it comes from. It's a satanic tool. And I had a guy that he's a driver. He's been a driver in LA for like 30 years. And my dad uses them. So as a favor, he picks us up at the airport. It's kind of cool. And so he's like, there was a traffic thing. And he said to us, what's weird is I used to be able to know immediately what side streets to take to get around this. But he's been using his stupid navigation for so many years. I mean, Garmin came out decades ago, and we don't remember it anymore. And here's a driver that didn't remember how to get places. And I thought about that. Like when I was a kid, you had to have everyone's phone number memorized. You couldn't just push a button. And you didn't even have a phone. Your parents couldn't get a hold of you the whole day. And if you needed to use a phone, you went to someone's house and you asked to use it. And if you were thirsty, you'd go to their backyard and grab a hose and drink out of it. Now we got a whole generation of kids that can't drink if it's not coming from a freaking bottled water.
I know. And then you have the Dewey Decimal System. Who doesn't know the Dewey Decimal System, man? I remember when you want to look something up in the library, you got to go to the Dewey Decimal System.
Do they even keep that
and also it's like cursive. Yep. I found out, I don't know if this is the Mandela effect or not. I don't think it is. Nobody's doing cursive.
Do you know what's written in cursive? The Constitution of the United States. There's going to be a whole generation of people that can't even read it.
They can't read it. There's nobody doing cursive in school anymore.
They don't teach it no more.
I had a girl. dude, I know these kids today. They're like, I can't read that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't read that? Oh, I can't read cursive. Well, what? Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, the Constitution's written in cursive. I mean, it's diabolical and ingenious the plan that they've devised over the generations to dumb us down and to put this technology out there that we think is so awesome and great. Of course, it's packaged up like it's this awesome thing and the latest, greatest stuff you have to have. And then, people don't even critically think, even with the news on Tell Lies to Your Vision. They give you a story. It's all prepackaged, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Just tune in this night and that night. And you don't have to critically think it. You just take it in and just move on with your day. So they've literally taken out critical thinking across the board.
Yep. All you need is
clearly people are running around with masks on all day and thinking it's a good thing.
Yeah. This is all you need, and all that stuff right here. It's all
Do you know what
need.
just happened? Do you guys hear what happened in LA now? Not only are they going through August, supposedly, there goes my light again.
Yeah.
They just announced that if you're in the city of LA outside, they want you to wear a mask. Like, if this wasn't so evil and obviously against us, the plan is genius. I mean, you almost want to applaud it. Like everything they're doing. It's insane how well thought out. I know it's a computer, but still, it's crazy.
Well thought out, man.
So they're telling you everybody has to wear a mask. Everybody has to kill themselves. Because breathing in your own carbon dioxide is not a good thing.
But it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire because as soon as you have one virus in the machine, the whole thing collapses in itself. And the fact that we have people that woke up with this effect, that actually have residual memories, you can't take them away. To me, this world's upside down. The green fucking light was on top, and now it's on the bottom. I don't know what people's memories are. Everyone has anchor memories right down to the basics, to the lion fucking laid with the lamb. It's all it takes. You're a virus.
But you see, Robert, this is the war. This is it right now because, we're awake. What are we? At best, what, 1%? Of the world's 1%. Population, 5%. You want to go 10? I'll even give you. But if the machine has 90% or higher on their side, they're using, once again, these people are cheap. And I don't even know what I mean by these people are cheap. That you could take that any, derogatory way you want, because I'm Jewish or was, whatever I am. But whoever's in the top of this, whatever you want to call them, pagan, whatever, whoever's up at the top, like, they have a way of not spending any money and then making us do their dirty work. We're fighting ourselves. Yeah. We're policing ourselves. Yeah. I got a friend that their neighbors watch when she leaves. And if she's gone for very long, they actually have the freaking nerve to ask her, "Oh, where'd you go?" I couldn't imagine. That's the world that they're creating because of 90%. So here's the war. Whatever percent we are right now listening to this and making YouTube videos, it's our challenge as we're trying to wake up the sleeping giant of the 90% because they're trying to use them on us. And we need to try to break them out and send them back, like it says in the Bible, recompense them against them 10 times. And that's the battle we're in right now.
And if you wake up too many people, they shut your channel down.
I did a show that got taken down. My show was called My Neighbor Could Be My Worst Enemy at this point, because as soon as all this mask stuff started and I tried to talk to her, she's like, "No, stay away, Jennifer. It's real, Jennifer. Stay away. Wear a mask. You die." And I'm like, "Oh my God, turn the TV off. And nothing's going on. Everything's fine." So, "No, it's real. It's real." I'm like, this lady, I'm not worried about the military and everything. I'm worried about, my sleeping neighbors around me.
Exactly.
And this whole
and you can doing tell good. Who's watching TV, because there's people that I thought I was reaching, and then the next time I see them, snap right back, and they watch TV, and they tell me, "Well, I make sure I only watch a little." No, it doesn't matter.
My ass. Well, the good news is
none of that shit. It's poison for your brain.
Poison. Mind control, CIA mind control.
Yep.
We got gods. We got God.
So
he's really strong. So we got that. We got us.
Let me ask Val a question. So I want to ask Val a question real quick. We are clearly in a spiritual battle here, and the spiritual battle that's taking place seems to be manifesting here in our reality on this physical plane that we're on. Do you see an upswing, uptick in spirit activity right now, or demonic activity, good or bad? Because it would seem as like the war is happening all around us. It's a battle for our souls. So clearly, this is a spiritual battle, and I think it's starting to manifest.
I don't know about manifest. I think it's a lot of people's becoming more awake because a lot more has been, seen on TV and televised. Even, us YouTubers, paranormal stuff. I mean, y'all are becoming more aware of the spirit world. So you are becoming more aware. I haven't seen a change in it, and I'm 48 years old. I mean, I see the same thing I see every day. I just think more.
Yeah.
Does my hat like the cigar? That's what they recommended.
No.
It doesn't?
No. Every time
really?
Every time you light it, your light flickers. So
it doesn't. I'm sorry. I got to talk to my hat. Wait, I didn't think I could sound crazy. You got me talking to my hat. God. I probably have 0 subscribers now after this episode.
You said sorry.
You probably got more.
Is this hat okay with it?
There you go.
If you notice when he said sorry, the light flickered like it understood.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey, will you please email me, Vale? Will you please email me? I need to discuss some stuff. Okay, sometime.
Okay.
I see the
Sailing Fan Man 2020 Gmail, please. So go ahead.
See, I see your cowboy hat has horns. Men don't have horns here anymore. Men have little peepees. They have baby Gerber dicks with baby Gerber balls. Baby Gerber dicks, baby Gerber balls, and they're just little
gherkins.
They're little femmies. And then
Gherkin to gherkin.
Men
okay, this is the Normal Gypsy Show. I'm ready now. Go ahead.
Local males have baby Gerber dicks, baby Gerber balls, and our generation men have big balls and big manhoods. Females, I can't speak for you guys. I don't want to go out in the box and say something rude. So, but your ladies have good ovaries. The way they used to look like this, like
that's
muscles.
good to know. Good ovaries.
Like ovaries look like muscles now over here. You're strong. Because it's a Mandela effect. The ovaries change.
My ovaries are strong.
They actually have. Hey, I got residue on that. Keep talking about yourselves. I got to show you some. I got residue on the ovary.
My ovaries are out of order right now.
Can someone bring up the way they look now, and I'll grab this book. It didn't change. I'll show you.
They're going to do it.
Let me see. Looking at women's ovaries.
If you look at a sheep's face, you look at a sheep's face.
Be like this. Now they're like this.
They're like this, yeah. I always say women, when I compliment men, like we got big old muscles.
Like
Women
this.
too.
Now.
Women have this now. You can compliment a woman's ovaries now. They're like badass. It looks like a sheep, I have one here.
Ah, okay.
There we go. They look like strong arms. Let's see if it has it on the thingy. Kind of.
Yeah, they still go down. Look, they still go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this, not like this.
Yeah, and they're connected.
Yeah.
Everything's connected.
They never used to be connected.
No, they're never connected, ever connected. Look at them connect.
See, back when you're a young Jewish kid, your family just buys you books because they don't want to talk about sex ed,
My dad was saying.
But check it out. There's
You mean sex ed? We learned that from a PE teacher.
right, and it was probably a man.
It looks like Baphomet.
It does, right? Oh, hold on. Look at
It looks like Baphomet.
It looks the same. If you look at the ovaries,
I'll find it.
kind of the same. Well, the way it comes down and then it does the, like they said, the Baphomet, whatever. I mean, this is a bad example,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you guys get the idea. Yeah.
Well, that one's not connected over on there.
That one's not connected, but they're just showing you the insides, but they're connected now. They're all the way, all the new tendons, all the new tubes, everything. I mean, it's for procreation. It's for having a more successful chance of having a child. I imagine some women now in this new world, maybe if they couldn't have babies back home, they can have babies now. I mean, might be able to. That's a major.
T-Vel, you're learning
Maybe,
a lot
baby.
today on this show.
Yeah. I mean, that's a major.
Did you ever really think you're going to learn about ovaries on the show?
I never know what's going to happen over here.
I know. I love this show.
Well, a lot of people don't even know their anatomy changed. I know, like, some people don't even, I mean, they have the effect, they know their changes are there, they remember things like the Bible changes, but they didn't look at their anatomy because they just don't know. They don't nothing to look at. But, you know, people don't realize that their anatomy changed too. They just don't know it. Like the ovaries. Yeah, we can go into all the stuff. I mean, even your kneecaps, your tendons, your ears, everything, your eyes, everything's changed. You got whatever eyes. They have the new weird shape of your eyes. You got the limbic ring, which in our time back on Sagittarius, only babies had them. And adolescents that went up when they hit pre-puberty. Once they hit puberty, they went away. The limbo ring went away, and now everyone has them.
Does that look different than the other one? Because they're not connected.
That's not connected.
Yeah.
But they're just giving you a general idea. I mean,
But because now these are connected where it used to
All
just
connected. Way more tendons.
So I don't know. Just weird.
What does the spirits think?
Yeah, what's my hat thing?
What is your hat thing?
Dude. I put that hat somewhere special, Vale? I don't know what to do with it now. Does it?
I would put it away, dude. I would put it on a shelf and just leave it there.
Isn't the attachment a nice one anyway? So there's no reason
I don't
to
feel
put it away.
anything negative. And she
I
said
don't-
he was laughing yesterday.
I don't see it was negative.
Maybe you should sleep with it on at night. See what happens.
Keep out of your fantasies, Eric, please.
No, we want you to sleep it at night over the whole weekend, and then you tell us if anything happened to you at night.
I mean, technically, on your wedding anniversary, if you could wear that hat, you're kind of having a menage a trois. You're like, hey, babe, you want two of us? There's two of us here. And then you come in just bare naked with the hat on. You're like, there's two of us. But
So, anyways, what's been happening in the world? Anything new?
You want a menage, baby? Well, other than Trump turning into a religious icon with QAnon, I told Eric I want to do some research on QAnon stuff. I know about some of it. I want to talk about it on the show, like one of our next shows. So if you guys want to do some QAnon.
Let me tell you guys how pathetic of a world that we live in. This is pathetic. I got an email from my cousin because we're all Seahawks fans up here. So now looks like Dunbar is a guy who got signed by the Seahawks as a cornerback. Well, apparently this cornerback got arrested over stealing cash and watches from a party with some other fucking idiots, football players from the Giants. They stole money and cash, and they stole a Mercedes, BMW, and a Lamborghini. Now, these are millionaires. Football players, NFL football players, millionaires stealing a Lamborghini, a Mercedes, a BMW, and money and cash. I'm like, are we really living in a fucking world where even millionaires are stealing? I mean, what kind of world we live in now?
They're millionaires. They don't have the concept of what value is, so they're just going to steal anything. I mean,
For the thrill of it.
But you just flush your whole rest of your career down the drain, millions of dollars just to steal more money. It's like, I don't know, man. This is kind of the world we live in now.
To them, it was probably like stealing a roll of toilet paper. To us,
Bizarro world.
wow, Lamborghini.
Bizarro.
Although a roll of toilet paper is fairly expensive now, Vale. I just have to.
Yeah, it is.
And the worst case, now we gotta
Clearly, they should stick to football because they got caught. So they're not very good at stealing.
Yeah, they got caught. I think this is a trial world. A piece of me, my gut says, we're in a trial. We're in a trial. I've been tested. I've been approached by certain things and been tested, and I've walked away from them. I've been put in situations where I know it would have went bad, maybe, but I would have benefited a lot. I walked away from it. I've walked away from a lot of shit. It feels like a trial world. Like, it's okay. Don't give up your shit. I keep telling people, I did it, but you don't need to do it. You got your family, you got your kids, you got your house, you got your garden. Take care of everything. Do the best you can and what you can do, and just be the best person you can be. To be the human being that you are, and just get through this fucking trial period. We're being tested.
Yeah.
Like, they want you to go out and get what's his name again? They want you to go out and get tackled by a bunch of cops, and go to jail.
Oh, Bob, cops, and look who's in the chat. Sister
Yeah, he just showed up. Hey, Mark.
There he is. Congratulations. Outstanding, dude. We loved your video. But that's what they want you to do. It's like the system wants you to do that.
They want you to step on the bear trap. They want you to.
Step in the bear trap. Yeah. I'm not doing it, man. I'm walking that what was that? The Kung Fu, that movie, The Kung Fu. I'm walking his trail, man. I'm gonna be like the dude from Kung Fu and just keep my nose clean, dude, and just keep walking that trail. I'm not giving in.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vale.
I think everybody should just ground themselves for 30 minutes a day. Take your shoes off. Go out in the most quiet place that you can find. Make sure your feet touch the earth and just stand there for 30 minutes and listen. You'd be amazed how different you feel. Just 30 minutes.
100%.
I got no shoes on.
I love these streams.
I don't wear shoes. I got no shoes on. I'm wearing handles. She's correct.
And now I understand in the Bible why they wash their feet so often. Because if you do that, your feet get filthy.
The shoeless paranormal show.
I don't wear shoes.
I hate shoes. I try not to wear them. I'll go outside in my bare feet in the wintertime. My mom's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm having a hot flash. I don't feel none of this cold weather."
Well, I can't have shoes.
Yeah, it just seems like
you're talking about the same thing. I'm watching this one guy lately, James True. He's pretty trippy. Got a lot of weird thoughts, but I like him. And one of the things he talks about is about being outside and walking barefoot. It's very important. And I had a theory about it. Every shoe you get, whether it's your sneakers, my dog's about to go off in a second, or even slippers, they all have a rubber bottom. And I think that's part of the disconnection. They want to make sure we don't get connected. Because if you're wearing like a leather moccasin or something, I feel the energy passes through because it was a live skin and all. So I get that. But when you get into rubber, I think just like electricity, right? Aren't you supposed to wear rubber boots and then you don't get I think it's another way to cut us off from the creator, from the energy in this world, because they want to keep us isolated in our little house, watching our little box and not touching each other and not spreading that energy around. That's what this is about, man. It is a spiritual world, right to your core.
100%, dude.
Well, maybe that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop us from spreading good energy around, is what it is. That's what it sounds like, by making us do all this ridiculous stuff, which I'm not doing none of it. Every time I see somebody that I know with a mask on, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I go right up to them, and they're like, "Oh no!" I'm like, "I don't care about that stuff. Give me a hug, girl," and I hug them.
I know it is. I know it 100%. My gut is
the energy, like prana or whatever you want to call it. It's out there, it's up there where they're using it and they're jacking it up. Like it's juiced up right now, right? They've had all these different ceremonies. They burned down this cathedral and they did that thing in the soccer thing that we didn't even realize was going on. They've been juicing this thing up for whatever they want to do. But you know what that means? Yeah. It's out there. So we just grab it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, listen. The crown of thorns in that cathedral that burnt down, which never existed for me. The crown of thorns was not some relic that was saved from when Jesus died for our sins. So the fact that they ran in for the supposed crown, the corona of thorns, I think that's when the ritual began to put forth and manifest this fucked up reality that we're living in now. And it's an ongoing ritual, but I feel like it started then because an iPet goat 2 or whatever it was, they had the same exact cathedral look collapsing in on itself, just like the Notre Dame one. And then Crown of Thorns with the guy on the boat coming through with the thorns on his head. It's clearly a crown, Corona crown. And look where we're at now. So I think it was all connected. It's one big ritual spell that they're putting on us.
We had never been there before. We were there for the first time a few years back, and we went to that cathedral, and we were blown away because both of us said, I'd never heard of a crown of thorns here. In fact, to me, that would almost prove the existence of the whole story of Jesus. Like, why hasn't anyone talked? My wife and I were just like puzzled. Like, how could we live this whole life and not know this? And then you're absolutely right. Because when you think about that event.
I went to 12 years of Catholic school. I've never heard of it.
And
12 years of Catholic school, dude.
It literally was another 9/11. The entire world watched that event live, just like 9/11. So it was a huge spell. You're absolutely right. But now that energy is there, right? So let's use it. Let's grab it. Whenever we get together and do these things, when 2 or more appear, he's like, use this. Know it's up there. Start whatever you want to do. Send your positive energy, however you can, out there. Grab it because it's there. It's packed up. We can use it too. We're just not organized, and most of us don't even believe in it. So the few of us that do, keep doing what we're doing. And however you can plant a mustard seed, wake up the sleeping giant, and we can win the war. The way that the book is written, I totally believe. If anybody who listens to me, I'm so connected to what I believe, the creator and all that. I get it. And I read the Bible as a guidebook. I also know it's been, manipulated and it's been changed over the years. So, to use your discernment in it. But if it's his story, maybe they jacked up the ending. Why can't we fix it? Why can't we do it? We have the power to move mountains if we figure
need to write our story.
We did.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want us to find out how powerful we really are. And if we ever discover how powerful we really are together, then they'll just be gone. The game's over. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep all this down and away and stifled down and just keep going with the propaganda and tell lies to your vision. I mean, it's just utter insanity and madness what's happening. The spell is so strong. They must have a whole network of people constantly working this spell magic over us. Clearly, the media magic on 24/7. But behind the scenes, even of that, there's rituals taking place.
Oh, yeah.
A ritual isn't some hocus pocus stuff. This really works for them. Clearly, it's working. Look around. You know what I'm saying? They put the energy into it. They dabble in the dark arts. They get that energy back.
Well, it's fighting back because remember now, I'm gonna take an archaeology. I'm gonna tell you, this is no bullshit. Let's go back to fucking science. Let's go back to outside of religion. Let's remove religion. There was no Bethlehem. Okay, now in archaeology, the archaeologists were looking for. There was no Bethlehem. Okay, there was no Troy was a myth story. They found Bethlehem. Okay, it exists. It did not exist. But it's in the Bible, and now it exists. So a lot of things in that Bible are turning up to exist now. Now, I'm an archaeologist going, bullshit. I debunk shit.
Like the wolf dwelling with the lamb. The wolf dwelling with the lamb. That's a true statement. I can't deny it, but it's not how I remember it, but it is a true statement.
It's there now. Bethlehem is there. It's there.
I got a question on the moving mountains thing that he talks about. If you can do this, you can move mountains. Well, when I look at the picture of Los Angeles, the area that I grew up in, those freaking mountains are right there. Brian and I talked about it the other night. They're right there. I would have remembered that. So is it a figurative sense? As we lift the veil, we see where the mountains really are? Because when we talked about the other night, I believe everything is different where they tell us. It's way closer than they say. We have no idea. Like when Robert lived in England, just because he took a 9-hour plane flight doesn't mean it was 9 hours away. He literally was 9 hours away from 7, whatever it is. You could be 2 hours away. And they do a flying pattern where you just fly around the ocean for 6 hours, and then they bring you here. So it's like everything's different. And maybe when he says you move mountains, it's not literally you can with your mind move it, but we wake up and realize, shit, that mountain's right here. I thought it would be farther away. And I noticed they do it. And I know I'm on a ramble, but real quick, let me finish. When you take pictures with your phone or any camera, everyone knows this. It's always farther away. You can see a plane right there. When you shoot it on your video, it looks like it's way farther. You have to zoom in to get the same look. So maybe that's what he means by move mountains. Once we wake up to this, we unlift the veil, we go, holy shit, they had a lie over that. It's really right here.
Yeah.
That's maybe what he means. What do you guys think?
Peter sounds close.
Exactly. That's the Mandela effect. Showing us how things really are. And when he says you can move mountains, if you choose to lift your own veil, if you get to that level of consciousness that you realize you have veil and you can lift it, then you are moving the mountains closer to you, or seeing how they really are, perceiving it in a whole new way, the original way that it was meant to be perceived in. But now there's an overlay over us, a spell cast, an overlay, a matrix of sorts. And matrix is in the Bible now.
Rainier is right. Matrix is in the Bible several times. I've got my little Bible book. It's an 1881 leather-bound little book I got from a small little weird place in England, and it said I've got all of the where it marked the Matrix. I marked the whole book, and it's a lot of Matrix in that book. When we talk about a womb, it's the Matrix. There's a whole lot. Anything born, it comes from the Matrix. It says it right there in the book now. I'm like, okay, well, right there it is. Right there it is. It's telling you the answer.
So, Matrix a bunch of times.
Yeah, Matrix was not used. It was
We're
not
in the
used.
apocalypse.
Not in the 1400s, not in the 50s, not in the 1300s. There was no Matrix ever being used. That word was not being used back in the antiquity. So it's a brand new word.
Yeah.
I can do this to the fucking cows come home.
Yeah.
There was no Matrix used back then. I went to college.
Everybody look at Eric real quick.
No, my screen's all frozen.
He's frozen. He came out here. He was talking over my shoulder. He's like, dude, what's going on? I said, everything. You're frozen in your corner.
I got frozen yesterday. You guys goofed on me, but actually you said nice things. So
No, I think I'm back.
there you are. It's the hat. My hat is affecting the show again. Is he happy again, Vale? I mean, really, I'm not goofing because yesterday he was laughing.
No, he's in the room.
Every time we talk about the hat, it flashes. Did you see that?
Stop touching the hat.
Stop touching your hat, man.
Are you enjoying the show? Whoever's in the
I
hat.
think I'm back.
Show?
Eric, you're in that room. You're in Mike's old room. That's why. You're in that haunted room.
Like my window.
Yeah, you're stuck.
My window. I'm not moving. So that's why I don't know if
You're in the haunted room.
Strike a real manly pose or something because you're going to get frozen in it.
Yeah, don't pick your nose. Whatever you do, you get frozen in that. The old nightmare. You know, the wives' tale. Don't pick your nose. You'll get frozen that way.
See, I think my hat's liking it because my light's going on again. There it goes again.
It's the hat.
Please email me, Vale. I do need to talk to you, okay?
He's happy. You're happy. You're laughing there.
Yeah, you have something attached to it. There's something on that hat.
And I notice I accidentally keep doing this, and I don't mean to. I'd probably you got to watch your hands now.
Be careful. You don't want to scare people.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody that I don't know, maybe you
And
guys
everybody's
sermon and tell me if he's a bad guy. I like him. This James True guy is really fascinating what he talks about. And he talks about some of these things about the hand signals, and he does them and stuff. Because he'll do that, and people will write to him, "You're a Satanist, and I'm done with you." You know, it's like, when did this change? You know, it used to be okay. You know, are you fine? Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, you're a Satan worshiper. Go away. You know, again, it's just like the words. They're manipulating. These are my hands. These are my fingers. God made them. He didn't give me instructions to say, make sure, Richard, whatever you do, don't do this, this. Don't do any of that. I mean, he never said that. It's coming from the other side. They're making you feel bad about things on your body and wherever you wear a mask. It's
The computer has to restart the computer.
I can't do
this is no longer the Gypsy Road show.
He got kicked out of his own show. He's got to go restart the whole computer. So he's stuck. He's literally going.
Yeah, I had to restart. I had the same problem earlier. I had to shut everything down and restart.
Don't you all hate Gypsy? I mean, now that he's not here to hear us, I mean, he's just an.
As soon as it went to a religious undertone, we started talking about God. The whole thing went blitzy. The whole fucking the Eric got shut down.
With it so far, we doing good, Hat?
Well, that's because we're using Lucifer's airwaves here, and he don't like us talking about the creator.
No.
See, it says something went wrong.
This is Eric. This is Eric's computer.
It says something went wrong.
It's crashed.
So I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
He's got no control.
Hold on.
He's lost all control.
Wow.
Oh shit, man! This is
Tell him
crazy
to
shit.
Shut it down and restart it. I don't know. I don't know if
Wow,
it'll shut the
doesn't
stream
like
down
us.
or not.
So.
This
We
feels
can
like a-
Wait, let's do like Karen. Okay. Well, no, I know. I can't do it. Rose and Jason did such an amazing Karen. And
very
Brian.
calm voice. She's very calm.
So
Very calming.
through the veil, I was wondering, have you ever heard of Dogman?
Oh, you're a dog man.
I hear it in clowns all the time with Ryan Tremblay, but yeah, I've heard about it. Have I seen one? No.
We have forest people.
I haven't seen one either, but
Our forest people. have
well,
left.
Dogman would be part of that forest people group, except he's got claws and fangs and wants to rip your ass up.
I still have a theory. I have a theory about Dogman though. Now, this is a bad theory because this is based off science, which is thrown out here. But they're just painting. They're just doing their. Okay, I think it's a blood type. I think a particular group had a particular blood type, and they're portraying them as dogs to separate them. Kind of how the Basque. So when the Basque had their own community and they separated themselves from all the other people, they had just their own identity. A lot of other people, townspeople, were portraying them as animals. They were painting them as animals because they had nothing to do with the Basque. The Basque had their own culture, their own blood type. They were Rh negatives, and they had their own language that no one knows where it comes from. To this day, they don't know where the language came from, and they were portraying them as a separate animal. Like they would draw them up as animals because they didn't know anything about them. I'm just throwing a theory out. It could be wrong. Again, it could be wrong.
Yeah.
So they do them as dogmen. They could be a particular blood type, a particular group that have their own separation. They're separatists, and they just portray them as
I think they're from the Cain bloodline. I think that's
Okay.
where the Rh negative comes from. They're canine in nature, Cain bloodline.
Canine.
They seem to look through you or right into your soul.
Rh negative.
They're like the hellhounds.
Yeah, my wife checked that. She knew you were O negative.
Yeah. Who else is? Anybody else here negative?
Well, Vale, that's something you talk about. She has that. She can tell people's blood type. She can tell certain things about them. It's interesting.
Yeah, she's tuned in. He's copper blood, man. Copper's fucking rough.
And I
when it gets electrical outside, my shit goes buzzing. Zzz. Copper, man.
I'm working on
Everything
it.
was iron.
So my new
Copper's bad.
since I've been learning a lot about tuning forks. This one's just a musical one for 432, but I've learned I have another one that's like 520 something.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love that thing.
I have another one. I'll grab it, but this one's 420 or 432. So I don't know where the mic is.
Ooh.
But I'll get the other one that it's supposedly it's a DNA healing. But my theory is this: if it's all about trauma, what's the very first trauma that happened to us when we're born? It's right at our belly button. It cut us away from our ship, our mother, whatever you want to call the placenta, whatever. And so I think to me that's the very first traumatic spot, and we actually don't even think about it. We just disregard it, Annie, Addie, whatever. So what if you take one of these and you put it over that, or you put it, I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe, what do we think when something you got, I got a gut feeling about this, or I feel, it's like use your gut to just, and then they talk about parasites maybe are in us, and it's always, the food that we're eating and it's in I think there's a lot to go on in the gut. And I have a daughter-in-law that told me, because she's in the medical field too, I think it was like 70, I might have it wrong, 70-80% of our immune system is there too. So I really think there's a lot going on there that we just don't really, again, we don't look there. And I think maybe we should look into it and concentrate on that. Because is it more of an entryway to our body, since, that's where we literally would cut away from the rest of ourselves.
Frequency, frequency, vibration.
When you hit that tone, when you hit the tone on that whatever that thing is, the tuning fork, that sounded, on the back end of it, sounded exactly like the tone that moves through my head. Not a ringing in my ear. I've talked about the tone that I get that moves through from this side. It's like, but it sounds just like that tone towards the end of the vibrational frequency. Can you do it again?
It does a little bit.
Let me get the other one too, and you can tell me that if you feel different. I'll be right back. But I'll get the other.
I know what you're talking about. I know when that thing when it gets into your ear, it makes that tinnitus feeling. It's a piercing. There's a piercing sound. Yes. It goes through your fucking head,
and then it peaks, and then it moves through.
Yeah,
and it sounded just like the end of that last one that he did.
Yeah, actually, correct. I would agree with you.
I can feel it. I can hear it move from one side to the other. It starts in this ear and it goes through, peaks out, and goes out. Am I getting an update? Is it some sort of DNA upgrade? Is this something from the creator, from Source Energy, that's trying to help us through this, interesting time that we're in right now? Because we need everything in the arsenal, and most people aren't even engaging their free will at this point.
People are saying that's a shift. That's whatever you have as a shift. Like,
Gypsy.
No, maybe it could be. I don't know. Some people say, well, every time you hear that, it's a shift. I don't know. I just know we've been getting them. They come around.
I'm talking about
like a few days before the full moon is when they come. They started hitting me like right before. Go ahead.
Not to be off topic, but the placenta, when the baby's born, because we were talking about being cut from the placenta and stuff, has the tree of life on it. The vein pattern of the placenta has the tree of life on it. And you look at a tree and you look at the placenta veins, it's a tree. It's pretty amazing looking. And I just thought I'd share that with you, because this is energy that we get to disconnect it from our mother's energy. I have a lot of my mother's energy in me. When she's up in Philly and she's not feeling well, I can feel her pain. I'll be like, my shoulder's hurting really bad. And I'll call her, be like, how's it going? What's going on? Oh, my shoulder's killing me. When she was living here with me, she woke up one morning with a migraine headache on this side of her head. I woke up with a migraine headache on this side of my head, and she was only in the room next to me. But if she was up in Philly, I still would have had the same thing. She would have been saying, I have a migraine on the right side of my head. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I do too. So we're very connected that way. Here's a placenta, and you can clearly see, I don't know if you can zoom in on any of that, but it looks like a tree.
The tree of life, yeah. The tree of life. Well, now Jesus was sacrificing a tree.
Tree of life.
There's the tree. And also your cerebellum is the same way, by the way. Your cerebellum also has a tree in it.
Oh, yeah. Looks like a tree right there. And the fourth picture over, you can really see look like these branches.
Yeah.
I'm never going to look at this place the same ever again.
Well, the original Christmas tree is when they used to place the placenta on the branches of the tree for good luck, and they would hang them on all the tree. One tree, they'd hang all the placenta off the tree. That's where you're supposedly in the mythology where your ornaments came from. Yeah, it was originally placenta.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
dude, I never heard they used placenta. Get out.
Yeah, they would hang the placenta on the tree branches. That's where you get your ornaments from. Because remember the Catholic Church stole the ceremony. They stole it from the pagans. There was no Christmas tree. There was nothing on the tree, but they used to hang placenta on the tree. Wow, yeah, it is. It's a tree life, yeah. I mean, now you know why they'd hang it on the tree.
That's amazing. You learn something new every day. I didn't know that one. And I know a lot about the Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. It was an old pagan ritual. They would take that's where the Christmas tree came from. Again, the Catholics stole it, because if you can't beat them, join them. Just change the name and call it.
I know why they got the tree. The tree and the wreath were pagan. It was for fertility. The tree is a penis. The wreath is the vagina. And that's why you have the holly leaves and all this stuff, Yule tides and everything. That's all pagan. Not saying pagan's bad, but they Christianized it because the pagan festivals were happening around the December 25th timeline, part of the year. And the Christians were joining in on the celebration. So they had to move a holiday right there at that particular time when the pagans were doing their same fertility rituals, Saturnalia and all this stuff, because they had to Christianize it in some way, because the Christians were backsliding away from Christianity and taking part in all these festivals. So, you got the whole Christmas thing.
What's your opinion on that, Val? What's your opinion on that? About the pagans and stuff?
Well, I was just over here reading Revelations 8, and I just sent it to you.
So I think it's Miss who just said it. I have trouble reading the chat. Oh, Mr. Law. This one's 528. So we'll try that one.
Oh, I can't wait to.
Can you hear that? Or go louder?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that tone mixed with the other one. That was a little strong, but
So
the tone I get in my head is a lot like that.
This one's the 432.
It's more that one for me.
And see, if you play your music at this, it's supposed
It's more that one for me, especially on the back end.
Yeah. It's like that, but it's weird, but a higher, but that. It's weird. That, but higher, but that. It's hard to explain
It's like a little bit higher than that, but it is definitely that. And especially the way it goes out on the back end of the tone. It's identical for me.
It does it.
I noticed if you play a song at what they have it
Does
now.
it always start?
What? I'm sorry, Jen?
It starts in my right ear all the time. Does it start in your right ear as well?
Absolutely.
It goes from right to left on me all the time.
Mixes left and then right. Mixes.
And how many in this room right now are left-handed? I'm just curious because that seems to be something too. I'm one.
I'm left-handed.
So
I'm left-handed. And my son's left-handed. My father is left-handed. It's hereditary.
Oh, she doesn't left-handed. Oh, that's cool. I'm ambidextrous. I started left, but the school hit my hand enough to make me go right. You guys know what I'm talking about.
So you're basically left-handed.
Yeah,
so now 4 out of 5 are left-handed. I don't know if that's something, but it could. We just got to figure it all out. So through all that information, how about I also feel the people that are eating less of the the garbage foods are more susceptible to not being veiled. I find the healthier you start eating, or things like that help too. At least in my experience.
Oh yeah.
Because again, it's
I agree.
thing. If you're eating that stuff, you're feeding the wrong thing, and it's going to control you like they did in Star Trek. They put a little thing in his earworm.
And Wrath of Khan, yep.
Right? Same kind of shit,
right? Remember, that's why they make campaign against drugs. The opiates will keep you from ever moving anywhere. That's why I made sure I got off in a day. I always push people to get off drugs. You get off the opiates, especially the fucking dopiates. It slows your shit down. Your pineal's just encased in fucking nothing, man. You can have residual memory. I've met guys that are on opiates. They have the residual memories, but they're not so oomph about it, where they'll just ignore it and just kind of go back into numbness. And they're not getting the full fucking God calling. They're not getting the 100% God calling. That's why, you got to get off.
They need to be
So Val, like Silly Fan saying, if you start eating junk and you do taking drugs, you can you'll be able to attach more evil spirits versus the good ones, right? Because you're letting yourself go, you're weakening yourself, so the demon can attach to you. Is that a true statement, or?
Well, I'm a junk food junkie, so I don't know. As far as the negative, like I said in the beginning, it's an entity or a spirit. They connect to you by something that they like about you. So yeah, if you happen to upon one that's negative, that's into whatever you're doing, and they attach themselves, then that's how they got it. It doesn't necessarily mean because you're doing drugs, you've got a negative entity. Okay, there might be a negative entity out there that likes Twinkies, and you really like Twinkies a lot, and I'm going to hang around with you because you like Twinkies. You know what?
Hey, when Bob smokes pot, he sees a lot of drugs in it.
When I smoke pot, I see a lot of shit.
I bet we all do.
Right now.
So would you say it'd be freaky?
Right now.
So it'd be freaky if you watch porn and then you got a bunch of entities around you touching you.
You never know.
Oh God! Way to go, Eric.
Hey, you got to go to the unknown, man. You got to ask everything.
If you watch a lot.
Channel.
Oh, the
He
American
likes
flag.
to go where no man's gone before. Mandela effect.
You guys recognize that old flag?
Did you knit that yourself?
Got the red on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this in England, Manchester, in one of those secondhand, really cool exotic stores. This is when somebody remembered how it was. They knitted it how they
Nice.
remembered it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I keep
Yeah,
it.
that
for,
is awesome.
Yeah, where's Brian at? We can prove it. He's from the place he remembers. There it is.
Oh, and I got a story for Brian too.
Yep.
Whenever he's usually watching me wherever I do, but I've now met someone that has a relative that died at 9/11, but the story is way more intriguing than that. So I don't know. We should probably save it for another show because you're.
Save it for a show.
Yeah, that could be an entire show. Yeah, I finally found someone, but it's not what you think. So it's really interesting. So, yeah.
Well, I knew a guy that was down on 9/11. We knew Eric. We knew that firefighter, fat ass, that big old fat ass firefighter. He was a volunteer from upstate New York. Remember?
The one who yells out meatballs. Yeah.
Yeah. He was down there when it happened. And
I can tell you, right? I mean, we're still going for a little bit. What's your thoughts here? I'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it real quick.
All right. So
end it at your spiel.
So this gal, she worked at a law firm in I think it was like the 80th floor, and she was there for the bombing that happened, and that's when we know that most everyone left. Okay, but the story goes that she went downstairs to get something from some coffee shop, whatever, and that's when the bomb went off, the plane, whatever you call BS. And so then when she went back up, everyone was coming down saying, no, you've got to get out. And everyone in her office died. And she died. And I go, how'd she die? Oh, she died of cancer, like whatever, years later, right? Yeah. But here's the kicker. So then my wife asked, well, how is she related? Well, this is somebody that I don't want to get too involved with the people because I don't want to, but there's someone that was way up in NASA, and this was his, I guess, niece. And so when I realized that, plus they hung out with people like Spielberg and people like, all kinds of famous people. Because when he was sick, because he was way up in NASA, when he went sick in the hospital, they actually had armed guards with him all the time. Okay. They never left the room. And their nurse could not be in there without him because he was so drugged up that potentially he could say something. So when I found out that that's who's giving us this story, so she's obviously connected to this entire family, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, whatever. So she's just a plant. I believe that entire office was moved out after the first bombing, and it was just her to then tell the story that they were still there. Because who's going to be able to know? And of course, miraculously, she was not there when it blew up and everyone else died. So she was the only one left to tell the story. So she can continue this BS story. And then now these people say, yes, I had a family member that was there. And so it's once again, it's the way they just have ways of throwing garbage into the machine to make us buy into their BS. But I found that fascinating that someone said, yes, my family, and then I found out who it was. So you can't believe any of it. So that's my story.
No, that's a good one. That's the typical one. A lot of people have them similar little stories. It's always got a twist on it.
Now I'm going to start peeling away and find out because she hung out with Steven Spielberg. So I got to go gently. Okay. I got to peel away at this onion and see more and more. Every time we talk to them, it's fascinating. So.
Which goes back to George Lucas, which goes back to his auto accident. It goes back to
auto accident that he died. Yep.
Wait, I didn't hear this one. This one's new for me. George Lucas is dead? When did that happen?
Well, no, George Lucas, before he made Star Wars, he was going to be a race car driver, and he got into a major car accident in California where I believe he died and came back to life next day, and that's where his Mandela effect stuff happened in the Star Wars movies. Yeah. But he actually, and when he was in the hospital, he actually had a vision of Star Wars in his head while he was in the hospital, and then he was too fucked up to ever race car again, so he went into film school. So there's a lot of story there and all that. So I actually made a silly fan in one of my videos on my channel. I did a kind of a crazy little documentary on George Lucas about his car crash and me calling the hospital to find out more of his story when he was in the hospital. So I actually do have a video on George Lucas' death on my channel. So you just got to scroll down. You'll find it. I forgot what the name of it is. George Lucas something, but you'll find it. I have a picture of his car crash. How the fuck did anybody survive that car crash?
No, man. This dude was fucking favored to live by God.
Yeah.
And then the other one of himself.
Or the other side. One of the other side.
Yeah. The other him influenced this him here to be who he is, because the person, I always remind people, the person that I'm here, the person here isn't the same person as I was back there because of my Facebook postings. I tell people, I go back to my Facebook postings. I don't remember writing any of that shit back in 2009. Wow. Half of the shit I don't remember writing this. I go to my journal that I had in the Navy and I read it. Some of it's the same. A lot of it is not. I was in the ILO. What the fuck is an ILO? I was no ILO, an International Labor Organization with the fucking UN. I don't have a memory of that, but it's written in my log. So the person you are here might not be the same person. Your avatar did what you did here, as you who you are, but then your spirit from the other place jumped into your avatar here, and now you're living as yourself. Everything seems like 99.9% the same, but your past is different. Your past is different. Now, Eric and I even have different memories on some of the things. The majority, the same. Some things different. So you got to ask yourself, you and your wife might share different memories.
Yeah. I have photos that have just vanished. You can go through the vacation photos, and like ones of the Statue of Liberty just gone. Everything else is there. They're just gone.
Yeah,
I found that video that anybody want to click on and watch it later, you can. It's called Mandela Effect documentary. George Lucas died on June 12th, 1962. So if anybody wants to check that out, you can. But we are gonna. I got some things I have to go do. I gotta go see if I can find a son that kind of threw him out. I threw him out of the house, kind of weird way. But Bob, are you doing the show tomorrow at all? Tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'll probably do a show tomorrow. I might do one tonight. It depends. I might do another hour, which is an hour one, but tomorrow also for sure. Yeah. Depends because it's Friday, so I might do it tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see, because I don't know your area, your neighbors, and stuff like that. So
and I'm going to, the last time, Bob, remind your brother to call me, please.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's not that I don't want to. It's been crazy here.
I just want to know you're real, because I'm thinking you're just AI at this point.
No. There's been some weird issues going on. Not,
Oh, good, Bob. You call me. You're more interesting anyway.
Watch it. We end this. Yeah. So
I got people yelling at me too, dude, from England. I got people that I call the MI5s. How come you haven't called us? I said, I've been busy. Being arrogant. I haven't seen my brother in a long time. We've been running all over the hardware store. We picked up doors yesterday. So we're working on his daughter's room. We're like doing all kinds of fun labor shit. We haven't done it.
We got to build a front gate.
Front gate? Yeah.
We had a front gate that had to get taken down when our septic tank went kaplooey. Shitty. Yeah. It really went shitty, where everybody in the whole neighborhood smelt our shit. It's true.
As Vale says, be careful with those doors. Don't open those doors, Robert.
Yeah. So how about yourself, Vale? Do you have something going on this weekend? Doing a show or going on Clown's show or anything?
Well, you can usually catch me over at Clowns, but I do have an upload coming Sunday, and I'm on live Wednesdays now from 8 to 10 Central.
Oh, okay.
Did someone put her link in there too?
Yeah, I'll find her link real quick.
Okay. And who's Clown? You keep talking about. I'm off the. I have no idea what that
means. Clown, we call him the Demon Slayer. He's a good friend of the channel. He's the real deal, dude. This guy's the real deal.
His name is Clown.
Yeah.
They have a channel called Clown?
Clown, the Paranormal Posse.
Clown and the Paranormal Posse.
Yeah, and Sealing, we did 2 videos with them. We did 2 shows with them. So we actually have video of a show we did with them.
All right. Well, I'll try to look
He's
at
a-
that too.
Dude, he's the real deal, man. You'll love him.
But is this the real deal?
He's
You'll
the
see what
demon
I'm
hunter.
talking about. When you watch him, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Well, she's already got me going on this hat, so I'll listen to Clown. Are you kidding? How's my guy doing? Is he happy? Because it was a fun show.
Yeah, he's fine. Just don't
Nice.
smoke around him.
I'm not gonna anymore. Well, that was Robert's idea. I knew I should never listen to him.
Hey, I want to test the limits. When you go test the limits,
His
experiment.
hat likes smoke. Yours doesn't.
My hat loves the smoke.
So
Yeah.
basically,
All right. Well, when I see it, we'll swap hats.
Ceiling, if you ever go ghost hunting, you want Clown to go with you. He'll fucking call out that ghost. He'll tell that ghost, make me die. I mean, he's that guy. He's like,
Me.
Well, I don't. First of all, I don't even know if that's the name, if it's Ghost, but whatever it is, it seems happy. So why would I want him to die? No, I'll hang out. If someone, as Vale says, if someone wants to hang out with me because they find me fascinating,
here it is.
Say
Here,
they're
I
wrong.
got Vio's channel here, and you
Vio.
said your show's.
I love the way
Wednesday.
he says that. I freaking love it. What was her channel? I'm sorry, I missed it.
I got her channel link right here.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called Through the Veil Paranormal.
Ah, he didn't say Veal this time.
I know you were. I know you wanted that. I was, dude, I concentrated
Like, it's
today
not
to make
Veal,
sure I
it's
say
Veil.
Veil, not Veal. I made sure. You're about to try to get me.
That's okay because you're a silly fan. You're a silly fan.
Yeah,
I like
silly.
you better.
Sometimes he
You're
calls
silly
me
fan.
silly man fan. That's a good
I like
one,
it.
too.
You're
I
a
like
silly
that.
man fan. I call you silly man. You're the silly man.
Notice I never fuck up on
She's
truth.
real.
Time.
Of course not. Who would? She's so amazing, you know.
Are you bringing? I go, Eric. Are you bringing silly man on?
Silly man. And the veal.
You're a silly man.
We
on.
should have our own show,
He
Stealing
kept
Man
saying
and the
that
Veal.
yesterday.
Right?
I'm like, he's not a piece of meat, okay? It's a veil, like a curtain.
I'm saying it. It's like, oh, it's
my
a
gosh.
I bring potato salad.
We got True Seeks, Silly Man, and Veal.
Gypsy's lost all control.
Mine's just
Baby
Rob.
talk is what it is. It's gypsy baby talk.
How you doing? This is pretty funny shit, man.
I'm going to get new shirts, I swear, with lamb chop and say through the veal. Yeah.
The Veal.
And I'll get one that says silly
It's
man.
pretty good.
Don't-
man.
it's like Bob's, like the titty milk shirt, titty milk pilots. It's
Silly
perfect.
Man Pilots.
It's
There
like
you go.
Where's
watching.
the veal? Where's the veal?
Oh my God.
So what is
Got me.
music you got going on later on this weekend and stuff? You got any shows going on?
Yeah, Steve and I are going to get together on my channel in the next couple of days and do a whole show on star forts and crop circles.
Cool. That's a good one.
So-
Jen, if I have
yeah.
any photos, do you want me to send them to you or to Steve? Because I'm not sure. Is it best to send them to you or to him, or does it matter?
Yeah, send them to me. Absolutely,
Okay.
send them to me.
All right. And when you see him, tell him I say hi. So, you know. I
So,
don't always
I wanna,
catch your stream
Right,
live.
well, you
I want to thank
you'll
everybody.
be on.
for,
You'll be on.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Everybody in the chat. I love having conversation that doesn't always have to deal with Mandela and stuff. That was fun. We learned that Silly Fan Man's going to live. His attachment is not dangerous. It's not sexually harassing him, so he's good to go. He's safe. And we
Yeah,
learned that
he
do not
wishes it
smoke-
was.
do not smoke cigars with it, or the attachment might attack him. Right? If he smokes a
Silly
cigar,
Man's hat. Yes.
so no smoking.
Yeah, I didn't like my cigar.
We learned that. So this was
It's a
fantastic.
non-smoker ghost.
It's a non-smoker ghost. So, Val, thank you
Yeah.
very much for helping us out with this topic. It was awesome. It was fun. And last thing is, you said Wednesday, 8 to 10
8 to 10 Central. Yeah.
Central Time. So you're Central Time. That's perfect. So, do you do guests on your show, or is it just you?
So far, it's been me. I'm learning StreamYard. If anybody is welcome to tell me how to use it, I will have guests.
I
Take full
do
time.
StreamYard, so
Okay.
maybe I'll email you. Maybe if you don't mind, maybe we'll jump on Wednesday with you if you don't care.
Hey, that'd be great.
I'll bring my hat if I'm allowed.
Yeah, me and Bob, we don't do show on Wednesday.
Bring
so
your ghost with you.
So yeah, we'll check your show out and maybe you'll invite us on.
Do they like being called ghost, or is there a different name?
Well, if you can figure out what its name is, otherwise I would just say, like, talk to it like a normal person. Like, hey, how you doing?
Okay. So far, I'm just calling him Hack, so maybe that might stick.
All right. Well, we're gonna let everybody go. Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy that sun, except for Val. It's raining where she's at. So everybody enjoy a good weekend.
Take your shoes
Thanks
off.
for having us.
Be outside.
See you guys.
Take your shoes off.